Excuse me. That's the wrong title. Let me edit that. Forgot it. I forgot. There we go. That's the title. Oh my god, there's a chat. So stressed out. I mean, why would I be stressed out? I'm too cool. Big day, big day. I'm trying to make sure I send everything properly, of course. Okay. I gotta bring up my notes now. Okay, sorry, I'm taking a while. Oh, I'm scared. Okay. Okay. Going to start soon. Very soon. very, very soon. I'm trying to self-promo on some servers, but I'm not trying to self-promo everywhere because that's just annoying and disrespectful. I only ended up self-promoting on my own server, my friend's server, and I think that's it. So, you know, two or three servers is not really enough, but whatever. We ball, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my notes. Dude, my phone is blocking my tabs. Oh, I don't have it listed yet. It's private. It'll be public once they get affiliate. That's always been like ever since like years ago. I decided I wanted to not open it up immediately. So I only have like a few of my like closest friends in there. And people who already know. Yeah, it's nothing it's not like a not like a gated community or anything. It's more so I wanted to set up and get it tested. And I didn't want to rush a server, so I was like, you know, if I have an affiliate requirement for it, that gives me enough time to have it polished. But it's been polished for years now, and now I'm just like, well, I guess I'll just get affiliate then. All right. Okay, I'm trying to make it to where my second monitor has both my OBS open up so I can see my OBS and to see my Discord. So I have it. I was trying to position it properly because I have my notes on Discord. I use a personal Discord server for notes and all sorts of information keeping. And I think I have it big enough. Okay. Okay. Here's the first step. Oh, wrong thing. Of course, I choked it. Oh, Lord. There we go. I pressed the back button. That's pretty pog. I have a G502, which has a forward front page button and a back page button. And I have my forward page button on my push to talk button. I was trying to see if my model showed. Okay, there we go. Wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Now I'm on the right thing. Yeah. Okay, well, it's not debut without being scuffed. There we go. I was trying to pull my model up. I'll go over the model details later. Oh, wow. Okay, thanks, Chiseko. Oh my god, dude, that video gave me anxiety. Publishing that video. Well, not more anxiety than my debut, but so for those who don't know, I made a video with my model author. It's a very formal way to say it. My VTuber artist who drew and rigged it. And basically, there was a 58-minute recording that I somehow condensed to 23 minutes. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, Lisa. Ah, dude, to think that it's been 4 years. So there's so much to talk about. I'm going to try to make it brief so I can actually like talk about it after my slideshow. But yeah, with that video, I was anxious whether I cut out like too much or whether I displayed the right information. I wanted to make sure to credit all the people involved. I ended up publishing the video. Well, during the process of publishing the video, I realized for some reason the color shifted on my model very slightly. I think it happened when I added a chroma key green screen filter. So I think that did that. And then I realized my model tracking wasn't that great. I mean, well, my model parameters weren't that great. Because my mouth would barely move. Now it moves a little bit. I'm stuck with Android, so it's always going to be like not great. But I do plan on getting like an iPhone SE 2nd gen or some iPhone 10 or something, preferably a little more recent than a 10, just because 10s are getting discontinued in the software department in 2025 next year. But yeah, that was there's a lot of little small things I wish I did better, but also didn't want to be like a perfectionist and like have it finished on the very last day. I finished it 2 days ago. But yeah, the interview with my model artist, and I'm generally pretty happy with how it came out. Yeah, that was a lot. And then I'll just briefly go over why it's taken so long for me to debut. So 4 years ago, I intended to debut with a different model artist, Blurfy, a good friend of mine. Then she ended up getting like carpal tunnel or something. She's still not really sure, 100% sure. We're still not really sure what it is, or like tendonitis or something. So she could not finish it. But unfortunately, whilst working on it, like it took us like maybe 2 years to realize that's probably not gonna be able to happen. So I ended up looking online, and I found Chisuko. I realized they, in my opinion, undercharged themselves. I think they could charge for more, but yeah. I was like, dude, rigging and art for 600, 500, 700, around that range, the 500, 700 range is really good. You usually get that separately in that like mid-high-ish triple digits. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. And I kind of recognized like, I recognized the chibi art style. It looked familiar, and that was pretty cool. So I was like, maybe I should get a job to work up for this. I'm still currently unemployed, but I had a job for like half a year at an airport, and I used that money to fund it and some other computer upgrades and whatnot. And I was like, damn, it was absolutely worth it. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably try to work another job over the summer to get a better CPU and whatnot. But yeah, enough of that. I'm gonna talk about that more later, because there's a lot I can talk about that. But I'm gonna do. Thank you so much, Valfir. You're like actually the goat. You're too kind. Yes, it is amazing. It's awesome. I'm so happy, but I'm just annoyed that I'm stuck with an Android phone because I can't give it the justice it deserves. Unfortunately. And oh my god, I spent so much time dealing with the parameters. Anyways, this is my debut model and art, like the art and the model rigging done by Chisuko. But the background was done by me. I wanted to put that here because I thought it looked cool. It's a artwork I made several years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that. Just something I did on a whim. And then I actually ended up liking how it turned out a lot. It has like very 2D. It's not the best like perspective, but I suck with 3D, so it actually turned out really nice. Yeah, I thought it looked really. I thought it just happened to fit really well with what I wanted for a page one. Okay, boom. Now, there we go. Finally, we're gonna actually talk about this slide instead of slipping up and going on it multiple times on accident. Who and what am I? I'm originally human, but I'm technically, you can consider me a cat. I don't really mind. Age 24 as of today, because this is my birthday, May 10th, baby. I figured doing a debut on my birthday would be convenient for people to remember the anniversary. It's like, oh yeah, you debuted a year ago, and you're, a year older. Like, this is your birthday and your model debut, which is like so hype. It's such a, I was really hoping I would be able to do it on my birthday, and I managed to do it with plenty of time. She finished the model like sooner than I expected, by like 2 months. So in the last 2 months, I've been working on the video and all the setup. There are some things I wish I could do. I wish I could do like a proper, like a lore video instead of me having to explain a bunch of text like here. And I wish I could have well, many skills. My only skill is pixel art. But I'll take that. I mean, I guess I'm okay at gaming, so that's another skill. But yeah, like I want, basically, if I do like a re-debut, or if I any like progress moving forward, I would like to have like an iPhone tracking. I would like to have a proper like a lore video going over it more in depth than I can on a whim, because I think I'm better at expressing myself with the script. Yeah, I'll make the lore video myself. Oh yeah, editing. That's my other skill. I forgot. I do pixel art editing. So all of my videos on my channel are done by me. I've been doing YouTube for a while, off and on, very like sporadically. But I can edit my own lore video. I can do my own pixel art. If I wanted to do art, I could just do pixel art. I probably won't do that though. I think that pixel art on like a large scale video sounds like a nightmare. I'm just used to doing portraits. But like if I really want to, I can have a pixel art themed lore video all done by me, which is pretty sick. Yeah, I would like to have proper overlays. So this is an overlay. This is literally like my overlay right now is just one screen, but I edited it to fit like a chat in a like a gap to where I can leave like media in. But for like if I do a re-debut, I would like to have a iPhone tracking. I would like to have a proper overlay in a lore video. If not, then if I don't do like a re-debut, like a special thing like a year from now, I'll just slowly, gradually introduce it into my streams. But I don't know. But yeah, okay, so my height is 5'10" or 178 centimeters. Google tells you 178 centimeters is 5.9, but 5.9 and 5'9" are different things. This is a pet peeve of mine, so this is why I'm talking about this. When everyone translates centimeters to inches or inches to centimeters, they forget that for some reason Google gives you foot decimal, not foot inch. So that's, that's something I want people to know. Whenever you're doing conversions, you most likely F it up if you go by Google. You have to find out, because there's 12 inches in a foot, but in a decimal it's 10. 100. Oh, not there yet. 10, 100-ish. Yeah, so that's really important. Weight is 9 pounds, 4 kilograms. The joke is that that's the average weight of a cat. Yeah. So unit conversions are super important. The only reason why I'm good with unit conversions is because I play like historical military sims like War Thunder and whatnot. You gotta know, like, if I have like a bunch of European friends and they use like the superior metric system, so I still use the imperial systems in War Thunder, even though I prefer metric, just because most of my friends use imperial, and because I can relatively amount it to stuff that's around me in America. But ultimately, I know that like a mile is about. Sorry, a kilometer. Hold up. I think a kilometer is 3,600 feet. A mile is 5,200 feet. A kilometer is generally like around 60% of what a mile is. So if you have like, I don't know, like 10 miles, a kilometer is like seven of those 10 miles, something like that. A pound is or a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. All that stuff is very important. I do think people underestimate or forget how much you could screw up just by not. It's just a convenient skill. I'm not trying to yap about it too much, but it's something I'm passionate about, just because it's like everyone will go on a whole imperial versus metric debate. And I'm like, fine, I'll just display both imperial and metric, and I'll do it right. I'm not gonna put out false conversions. But yeah, that's just something I value, is accurate conversions. Anyways, for the lore, a curse was laid upon me many years ago that turned me into a cat for a few years. I still maintain parts of my female past after being turned back into a human out of nowhere. Incidentally, when my curse broke, it became stable, which only allows me to have some control of it. I can change my form somewhat, but am ultimately stuck. Looking like this, my shapeshifting is limited to the constitution of a human or a cat. I still don't know the cause or meaning of the curse's creation or disruption. So this, oh no, I can't do Fahrenheit to Celsius. I can't do temperatures, period. That hurts my brain. I generally know like vaguely what, like, I know like pinpoints vaguely. Like I know like what 80-ish is around 24 Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit. It's vaguely around there. 25 Celsius, something like that. And I know that like negative 30 Celsius is like negative 30 Fahrenheit, which is, I vaguely have like some familiarity with that, but yeah, only because I've had to convert it a lot talking to my European friends and whatnot. Yeah, so this lore is actually related to my real life lore. I know I sound maybe kind of Australian right now, but I swear I'm American. Basically those years where I was turned into a cat for a few years basically refers to when I was in I mean, I guess I'll say it because it's been a long time. It's very I'm sure some people might be able to relate, but those years I quote unquote was turned into a cat here is related to me being in foster care as a child. So I was away from my parents for like 2 years, and essentially I thought it would be cool to incorporate that into my lore because it's like I don't feel like I belong. So like I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere in those 2 years. And yeah, I mean, pretty much like the I like the idea of shape-shifting, so that's why I always was like a fan of like what's his name? Beast Boy from Teen Titans. I thought shape-shifting was the coolest superpower. It was always a superpower I wanted to have. Yeah, so I was like, you know, what if I have like some limited shape-shifting? Not like, oh, I'm a dragon and all this, but it's like, oh, I can turn myself into a cat. Something I can incorporate into a model in the future once I have like enough money to buy a fucking cat model. Also wanted it to be like some shape-shifting over my form. Maybe I have like a gender bent version. Maybe I'll have like a version where my hair is not blue, but my hair is like brown. Maybe I'll have a version where I don't have cat ears, but it's like ultimately I'm stuck in like this kind of form. I kind of like the idea where it's like at the end of the day, even with limited abilities, limited shape-shifting abilities, at my core, I'm a fusion of a cat and a human. And I'll discuss why cat soon, like very soon. But fun facts about me: I used to be a pixel artist for a few games my best friend made. Best friend I'm still in contact with, even though we've known each other for dead ass like coming up 10 years by like December, maybe January of next year. It was 10 years. It's like my longest formed internet friend that I still chat with. I used to do pixel art for him. It's a game called Pixel Carnage. He also did 2 other projects, and he's working on one a different project right now that he wants to make into a proper game you can play on Steam. But Pixel Carnage is a game you can probably find. I don't remember the other 2 games because those were kind of like very incomplete. The Pixel Carnage is the most complete so far out of the ones that you can find online. But there's a random website out there that you can look up Pixel Carnage and actually play that game. And I did all the pixel art for that. I still continue to make pixel art to this day. I do a bunch of like mostly portraits like you see up here. Real Yamada from Bochi the Rock. Hu Tao in the form of Inabaka Mori's leg train. A shark, which is cool. I like shark. A koi fish. A panther. I believe this is the Panther A. It doesn't really matter the variant. It's a Panther tank. These are the actual sprites I use for Pixel Carnage. These are one of each, like each in the class, but there's like several different like skins and variations of these dinosaurs. This is a T-Rex, this is a Carnotaurus, this is an Oviraptor, this is a Novoraptor they call it, which is basically like a Utahraptor. Yeah, I love pixel art. I'm like the rare artist who can look at their own art and be like, I like that. Like every time I look at this art, I'm just like, man, I like that. I'm proud of what I made. I know there's so many artists who have like imposter syndrome, or they always nitpick their own art. Because my art is so simple, it's very easy for it to just work. And that's a Compsognathus, little dinosaur. But yeah, these are all little dinosaurs that get to shoot and kill and brutalize in it's not really brutalize, you just like it's just very arcadey. But yeah, I grew up playing video games at a very young age. I'll go talk about the I'll talk about my real life history with games and YouTube and all this stuff that led into me being to where I am now, because it was cool and I am cool. Okay. I now help troubleshoot and build computers for my family. So my dad was a tech dad. My dad got us, he was a gamer, doesn't really game now, but he was a gamer when we were growing up. So he got me and my brother to play really young. I was 4 when I played my first video game. I'll talk more about that later, but yeah. And he used to work at like Best Buy, works at IBM now, like all that computer nonsense. But he hates dealing with computers because of his time at Best Buy, so he just does network engineering. So he just does like Wi-Fi, Ethernet, internet, all that boring nonsense. So because he doesn't like dealing with computers, and I completely understand him, I pretty much do all the computer building in the house now, and all the like setting up and whatnot, and tech stuff, because I don't blame him. It's such a headache. But if, as someone who hasn't been doing it for like 20 years like he did, it's still fresh enough and new to me to where it's worth it when you get to actually work. Yeah, I really like the process of building a computer. It's just very stressful when things go wrong, but I feel like it's made me better at handling stress. Yeah, it's definitely toughened me up. For sure. Oh, hi, Multicore. You're like epic. Multicore made his own, or rigged his own model. I don't remember if you drew it. I keep forgetting the specifics, but I really like his model. He's a freaking mecha VTuber. Absolutely go check him out. He's also a person I've known for like 8 years from War Thunder community, so that's fucking lit. I like that. I wanted to be a paleontologist growing up until I realized how difficult it was. So paleontologist is a very paleontology and archaeology are very difficult jobs to have, because you have to pay for all your expenses. You pretty much have to be rich and fostered into it. You have to be a nepo baby basically to get very far in it, because or you have to have another job basically, or you have to have a job and then quit that job to start working this job. You have to have a lot of money to be a paleontologist, and I'm not gonna do all that. Essentially, like you have to fly yourself everywhere. You have to, like, unless there's like a company you work for that flies you places, but you're spending like thousands of dollars just to potentially just discover something. I don't know, I feel like it doesn't usually pay off. It's not always about the discovery. Oftentimes it's just like you want to find something to sell to a museum. But yeah, it's a very cutthroat job, and you're out in the heat and you're doing all this stuff in like insane weather. Paleontology is dope. I respect anyone who does it, but it is masochism to the highest degree. It's one of the hardest jobs you as a kid wanted to have, and I realized that in high school. I was like, oof, yikes. Okay, so I still love most of the things I liked as a kid, but that list's grown even more. So I used to like mostly cars and dinosaurs back in the day. Now it's a lot more about like aircraft, tanks, all that. The engineering side of things, spacecraft, all that stuff I find very interesting, because it's just crazy to know how much it's crazy to know what humans can make. It's just absurd. It's something else. there is no way on earth you can tell me that this idea isn't cool. The fact that we as a species 400 million years ago turned the T-Rex, the apex predator at the time, one one of the most like one of the craziest dinosaurs, one of the craziest life forms on Earth to ever exist. And now there are fucking livestock. Now they're like chickens and shit. And now we have like technology that would blast a hole into a T-Rex. It's so crazy how that happens. And we can make spacecraft and leave our planet. I don't know, that stuff is really cool to me. I think it's very crazy how it just goes to show like the human brilliance. I think it's very nice that aside from all the politics, the drama, the nonsense, at the end of the day, we can do something together that means a lot. I think it's very nice. I think it's very cool to have like this interest in dinosaurs and this interest in like technology. I don't know. It's a very different fields of study, but yeah, it just goes to show that evolution's pretty rad. Okay, so why did I choose a cat? Like many others have. So you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of VTubers who have a cat model. I'm one of many. And I'm not saying anyone who has a cat model is invalid. You're absolutely valid. And I'm not saying anything against that. But there are a lot of cat models. And specifically, I have my reasons why I have a cat model. I wish people talked more about why they have cat model, wolf model, dog model. I wish people would explain more because it's so interesting. I think people have interesting ideas and they don't think it's interesting. You'll have someone who's like, oh yeah, I have an armadillo model because armadillos are my favorite. But it's like, okay, they're your favorite. So why are why are armadillos your favorite? You know, like go on, like talk about a story about, you know, why you like this thing. Like I think more people need to discuss why they have their model named after something. So that's what I'm going to do here. But yeah, if you have like a mecha VTuber like Multicore, you know, you would talk about like, hey, this is when I fell in love with Gundam. This is you know, I played this game as a kid. Relates to that. Always like the idea of being a robot, you know, that kind of stuff. I like animals, but I like specifically cats because I've grown up with them. We've had like 20 plus cats over the years. I felt like I had to choose a cat. There are other animals I might like more than cats. But a cat, I feel like, is the most related to me. And yeah, basically, I don't like too much stimulation, or like being touched or being in crowds. A lot of cats are kind of like this. You pet them for 5 minutes, and then after that, they're like, I'm done with you. I kind of feel that way. Like, you know, I don't really like to be in really crowded environments. A cat would probably get really hissy if there's like 17 humans around, you know, that kind of stuff. So I really resonate with that. I like to sunbathe outside and lounge around inside. So much like how cats like to just find somewhere to sit down, I like to just like go out, walk a little, and go to like the living room to sit on the couch for a bit. Go to I don't know, maybe sometimes I'm on my chair now, but sometimes I'll just lay down on my bed for a bit. I have no particular reason to, but it's nice to have that blood flow change a little. If you're sitting down all day, it kind of gets a little uncomfortable. But yeah, I like to sunbathe outside. I really like to sit outside, especially in the spring, fallish, like when it's not too hot, not too cold. It's really nice. I think people underestimate how like important even just like 15 minutes of sunlight every day or every other day does a lot to your energy. Because us humans, we're kind of like plants. You have to use, you know, that energy for we have to get a little bit extra vitamins and energy from the sun. Obviously, we're not as reliant as like lizards or plants, but yeah, I think if you guys do like, you know, have the ability to go outside and touch grass, you'll see that it helps your mental health and your sleep a lot better than you think. My energy levels vary wildly throughout the day. So like cats, they like to they'll just do this thing where they run full speed out of nowhere and then get it out of their system, and then they're chilling for like 2 hours straight, and then they do it again. So yeah, I'm not as sporadic as that because cats have a very obviously like different circadian rhythm. But I noticed my energy, like I'm very like low energy throughout the day, and then towards like the final like 5-6 hours, then I have my energy. That's a lot of this is related to ADHD. I'm easy to distract or spook. Just like my cats, they get like, you dangle the keys in front of them and they go crazy, or you literally do nothing but step forward and they get scared and they jump. Always hits different when a VTuber goes beyond the bubble. A lot of people remain at. Yeah, like definitely just explain more in depth about your model. Some people will go about their design and they'll talk about their design briefly. It's like, dude, do your model artist some more respect, because it's like, and yourself if you designed it, you know, talk about it. Yeah, but let's see. It takes me a while to warm up to people, but sometimes not all. So there's certain people I instantly mesh with. The cats are like that too. Sometimes cats will be like, I'm sure everyone has had an experience with a cat where it's just like, oh, that was easy. Okay. Like they let you pet you instantly. It's like, okay, that's cool. And then you have times where it's like, man, I've been with this cat for like 2 weeks. He's only now just getting used to me. So yeah, I definitely feel that way with some people. There's some people where I immediately gel with. I think Multicore is a good example, because I just kind of saw him on the worked on a subreddit and I just immediately clicked with him. But then there's some people it takes me a while to warm up to. This is usually mostly a in-person thing, I feel like. Maybe like it takes me longer to warm up to people in person, but it's a lot more instant online. I'm rather irritable if I'm uncomfortable, sleepy, or hungry, just like most people. Oh, hi, Sco. Meowza. Damn. Okay, well, Sco's dead. That's pretty cool. He didn't have much long for this world. But yeah, like I have a very short temperament when it comes to if my needs aren't satisfied. I have a very short temperament, just like how cats will very quickly if your cat is like meowing at you constantly, wanting food, the instant you do something, like if you pick them up when they're hungry, they might attack you. If you pick them up when they're not hungry, they're just chill. Not attack you, but yeah. The term catty exists for a reason. When I'm not causing chaos, I tend to myself. So there's times where I like to be more and this is all like very like quirky. It's a very quirky list, but I think it's very interesting, the connection to the psychology of how I relate to cats the most, even though they're a completely different species. But generally I'm very, very reserved, but sometimes with the right friend group, we like to do a little trolling. I'm low maintenance and can take care of myself if I have to. I don't lick myself clean, but other than that, I'm pretty like, I don't really need much. Just give me like a house, like a studio apartment, and I'm good. Maybe a one bedroom apartment, and I'm good. There's some people who want a lot of wealth, and I will never understand why people. Well, if I vaguely understand, but I don't resonate. I don't empathize. Maybe I sympathize with people who, you know, they have money and they want more of it. Like I kind of get it, because your brain is always like, oh, if number go down, not good. But I think, you know, some people, you don't need a fancy $30,000 car. You don't need $300 shoes. If it makes you happy, it's fine. But if you get to a point where it's not making you happy, and you realize that to support you and your lifestyle is more expensive than like a family in the Middle East, or a family in the Midwest, I should say, then you should probably like cut down on costs. I think it's very unfortunate that we have a lot of wealth in certain areas. I'm not trying to make this political, but there's a lot of like really wealthy people who just sit on piles of money. It's like, you know, if you spent like a fifth of your paycheck every year, you could do a lot to charity. So I do want to do charity streams eventually. Not really in a state to do so, and I need to do a lot more research to do that. But you know, I think once I get to a point, if I can possibly live on my own doing content creation, that would be great. But I want people to know that if you support me, I'm not spending my money on $30,000 cars and $300 shoes. So yeah, like definitely not saying you can't enjoy that stuff. but I think people need to be a lot more generous. There's a lot of people out there struggling. So yeah, that's my hottest take of the year. Super hot. Like everyone disagrees with me. Um, what I like and don't dislike, I really like animals in general, especially dinosaurs. I think lately it's kind of switched around though. I used to really love dinosaurs, but I feel like animals are just like the animals we coexist with now are a little bit more interesting because there's a lot more information out there available, and there's a lot you can do to if you buy like certain kinds of meat, you can maybe pull back on buying as much meat, or you can buy like food from sources that don't torture the food. You can go to like zoos and shit and see them in person. You can't really go to a zoo and see a dinosaur other than like a cassowary and like birds in general. But like there's things you can do to be nicer to animals, personally, on a personal level. Um, Also, like, don't feed wild animals because they'll rely on you too much. There's a lot of really cool like little tips you can do to have a better like coexistence with animals. And that's why I like animals, because it feels like you can proactively do something with the animals we have now over like dinosaurs from film and like eons ago, which is cool to look at and imagine. But yeah, I think people underestimate how cool animals are now. Like they're pretty dope. They've been evolved a lot. They're pretty swag. If you have a pet of any sort, you'll definitely know. You'll know what I mean. I'm sure sure you've had your moments where an animal passes away and you feel more grieving for them than you would ever expect, because you're like, oh, it's just an animal, and then once it happens, like, whoa, that's a lot. So yeah, I really appreciate animals. I'm not gonna go on that too long, but be cool with them. They're cool with us generally. So I really like space, rocket science, astronomy in general. That stuff is really cool, really nerdy. A lot of this is really nerdy, but yeah, I like I was talking about earlier. It's just crazy how we like to the point where it can just leave Earth. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie, and like the fact that like there's so much. There's such a vast collection of knowledge that goes into rocket science as a whole. There's like terabytes of information. It's such a crazy area to be in. So if anyone's like in those fields, I absolutely respect that. Anyways, I don't want to be I'm yapping a lot, but man, I really want to talk about this stuff like separately. These are all like topics I want to talk about in like a video format, which I will probably do eventually. So that's why I'm yapping a lot, because it's like something I put a lot of thought into. But yeah, fantasy based on the past. I really like fantasy. I think it's more exciting than future stuff. Not because like the futuristic sci-fi stuff isn't interesting. I just don't think as many people have explored the possibilities of futuristic stuff as well as they could have compared to like fantasy stuff. But that's just me. There's a lot of cool stuff like I'll probably enjoy doing. But I'm like, dude, it's just because it takes so much more imagination, because it's based on technology that isn't around. But yeah, I do think fantasy squeaks it out for me. I think it's really cool how well you can balance it between realism and fantasy. There's so much, like, if you want to have a very realistic fantasy, you can do that. If you want a very fantastical magical fantasy, you can do that. I do really like the historical weapons. I think it's pretty cool to have like different tools for different things. There's a lot of different martial styles. Like there's obviously there's like European martial arts, there's Asian martial arts, there's African martial arts. There's all these different art style martial arts. It's really cool that, like, even though it's for like bad stuff or killing other people, sometimes it's for defending. I just think like the engineering of it, and like the it's just fascinating to see how people like did that stuff. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah, it's also a good workout. It's a good thing to bond over. If you want to go sparring with a friend, even if you suck butt at it, you get a good workout. So it's pretty cool. I really like that stuff. Also, who doesn't like cutting watermelons? Uh, anyways, the engineering of vehicles and weaponry, I already kind of yapped about that. I like aircraft mostly. That's my tism. I really like jets specifically, combat jets. I like going fast. That's pretty cool. Going fast is cool. And weaponry in general is just it's just really crazy how again how like how complex it is for something that's just like you shoot the person and they're gone. It's very morbid, but it's like I don't know. It's sorry something I'm going to collect or anything, but it's more like a thing I admire. I think it's cool that we have like we just have like a lot of variety in those fields, and it's a lot of stuff that you can just like it's one of those things you can easily bring up as a topic to friends who are also in that field. But yeah, I do appreciate VR games. I think VR is really cool. It's an industry I've been following for 12 years as well. Yeah, 2012, I think. When the first Oculus dev kit came out, that's when I started when I found out about VR. I think it's also another thing where it's like a lot of people see it as a gimmick and whatnot, and it is right now in some degrees, but I think there's a lot more depth to it now than people think. I feel like people have like a very 2016, 2017, 2018 mindset of how VR is. Or people won't give VR enough of a shot. Obviously, some people have motion sickness, which a bit of a skill issue. That's unfortunate. But yeah, it's also another thing where it's like it's kind of a very rocky future, but it's kind of exciting to be along for the ride because you're like you can never really predict what major development happens out of nowhere, which is kind of like the same with computer hardware. I know a lot of computer hardware is just very gradual, but there has been some jumps. There's been some graphics cards and CPUs that have done crazy things. Like not too long ago, we have DDR5 RAM, which is more efficient and faster in general. That stuff is really dope. I'm not going to go on to that much longer. I could eat pasta every day for the rest of my life. I literally just had pasta. I had Alfredo. So that's sick. It's like, I was like, what kind of food do I want to put here? Do I want to put like Mexican food, Japanese food, Chinese food? Like, you know what? That's all like super vague. I'm just gonna say pasta because that's like the thing, dude. A little crazy with VR. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that I'm very lucky to not have motion sickness almost ever in my life. I'm so grateful because my sister has it really bad. It's so cool though. There's a lot of activity. It's a great way to work out. You can hang out with friends. It's a lot more I don't want to say spiritual, but it's a lot more yeah, I guess spiritual. It just feels more immersive to hang out with friends even in VR chat, even if that's all you do with a VR headset. I think it's worth. But if you can do like activities or workout or something, there are tips, and your motion sickness over time will go away. It'll adapt to it. So for my tips with a VR, is try to mess around with the locomotion settings. Obviously, see which form of locomotion works best with you. Eventually, you want to do it to where you can, you don't have to teleport or anything. I know a lot of people do teleporting, motion sickness, and that helps them. Some people that doesn't help them at all, and makes it worse. But so for other tips, I would say if you can try to act out the stuff in real life. I know usually with your upper body you're acting it out, but like if you're walking or moving, you want to kind of like move yourself. Like or if you have like a VR treadmill, you could get one of those and that'll help. I think people like VR treadmills are like they tend to get motion sick way less easily. Basically, motion sickness is a disconnect, at least in VR, it's a disconnect between your brain and your body. yeah, and obviously, like I said, exposure therapy, the more you do it, the better you will. It takes a long time for it to work, but eventually you'll get the point where an hour of VR turns into 2 hours, into 3, etc. Um, Again, you're just slowly connecting your mind and your brain together. Anything you can do to immerse your body and your brain the most. If you're swimming, act like you're swimming in real life. You know, you gotta trick your brain, because your brain, if you have motion sickness, your brain is just like vehemently aware that it's not doing what it's saying. And so people who have motion sickness are probably less likely to be immersed. It's probably easier for them to get unimmersed subconsciously. But yeah, there's videos out there if you want to look more into it. It's very important. Hi Hoshimi. Yeah, motion sickness is that's an old emote. Motion sickness is it's workable. You can eventually work it out, so don't get discouraged if you want to do VR and you have a motion sickness. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world for you. It just means you have to put a lot of effort where some people don't. Okay, so I like all sorts of games, art, and music. Obviously, I do pixel art. I follow a bunch of artists. I listen to a bunch of music, like most people do. There are some people who don't listen to music often, but yeah, I usually listen to like video game OSTs, but sometimes there's some bands like I'll talk about in the next slide. Of course, I like all sorts of games. I tend to watch games instead of play them, just because I'm saved a lot of games I wanted to do for stream for this. Best kind of pasta is all kinds of pasta, so I genuinely don't think there's not a single best pasta. There's a lot of really good pastas and like mid pastas, but like at the end of the day, almost anyone can turn any type of pasta into a 10 out of 10 banger if they know what they're doing. So if you think there's a best pasta out there, go say that in Italy and get torn to shreds. I dare you. Yeah, so that's my take on pasta. I don't think there has to be a best. I think there's a best for certain people. To me, as a enjoyer of pasta, what's best is that I don't have to eat the same type of pasta every time. One day I'll have a pasta la vista, baby. One time I'll have a spaghetti type pasta. You know, it's a marinara type sauce. Sometimes I'll have Alfredo. Sometimes I'll have mac and cheese. You gotta change the noodles every now and then. Sometimes you'll make spaghetti. Sometimes you'll make something else with the red sauce. Like you'll just use penne rigate. You'll just use bow tie noodles. Maybe you'll do Alfredo with eggshells. Maybe you'll do Alfredo with macaroni noodles. You really gotta experiment with that stuff. You can make the concept of Alfredo last so much longer. Oh, why did that get deleted? Oh, you sent too many caps. That's sick. Get marked, Mark Owafarikani. He's been like, bro, I see like, what was it, Aurora Borealis in Sweden. It's like, I can't show up to the stream quite yet, and then he shows up the stream and he gets freaking caps timed out. That's actually great. I love that. I just saw orange name and let's go, all caps, and it was just gone. Oh god, that's awesome. Okay. Honestly, I'm not. Yeah, I'll just let the timeout do its thing. I might adjust that. I set up the bot within like a day, so there's some parameters. Actually, I spent 2 separate days, like about a month apart, but I need to set the parameters a little more. Yeah. Okay, so I don't really like drama and politics. I won't really talk about politics much on this channel. I think politics are more for people who feel like they can do something. I feel like politics are more for people who feel like they have something of value to say, or people who just like to fight all the time. There's 2 different types of people get into politics: people who really care, and then people who just want to let all their stress on other people. So I'm not that petty of a human being, so I really try to avoid politics and drama. I think it's fine to have it every now and then. We're a human. Eventually we're going to talk about politics and drama in different forms with different people. Eventually I'll talk about a little bit of politics and drama, only if I feel like I have somewhat informed opinion, if I feel like I have any value, if I feel like I have a different take on it. Even if I don't entirely believe my take, I'll at least put it out there. But generally speaking, I think people who get into drama and politics need to understand that it's not the best for your mental health. I know it can be sometimes relieving, and sometimes it's nice to yell at someone for being stupid, but if you do it too much, and some days you'll have days where you're getting completely owned in return, or you feel like you're being disrespected or whatever, don't put too much value in it. At the end of the day, most of the people you complain with online, I'm being serious, most of the people you complain with online, if you talk to them in person, you are like 50% more likely to come to an agreement of mutual respect. You're way more likely to respect that person if you're not behind a monitor with a keyboard letting your emotions get the best of you. Most people here have probably broken up with someone online and like, stopped being friends with them over some politics or some stupid drama that most likely if they were in person and they just talked it out, you would be so much happier. You would still be together. Things would be so much smoother. There are people who go to conventions who used to hate each other. They leave the convention and they're like, he's tight actually. I was wrong about him. Sometimes it's the other way around. But I do think people need to realize you only have so much lifespan. You only have so much time on Earth. What's the point of fighting everyone ever over every little thing? At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all live and die on the same planet, except for those people who are fortunate or unfortunate, depending on how you see it, who die in space. Rest in peace. But like, just love each other. Like, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's better to have too many friends than too many enemies. Anyways, that got me riled up. Yeah, be chill with each other. Like, seriously. I don't really like handling extreme personalities. I can deal with extreme personalities, but handling extreme personalities is a different thing. There's dealing with someone who's extreme. It's just like, okay, I'm just putting it with him, or maybe I'm just like, kind of just bobbing back and forth and trying to see, juggling how they act. Then there's handling them, which is just like, oh god, I gotta make sure this person doesn't like say something wrong or cause trouble, or this person doesn't step over my boundaries or whatnot. There are extreme personalities that are good, that are like, they're just like really out there. Like if you're on that sphere of the internet, if you watch like Ludwig or like Pete Premier 2, there's certain content that have a very extreme personality and they're fun in doses. Or like Lady Beard, the wrestler who cross-dresses. These people are extreme personalities. They're difficult to handle with sometimes, but generally speaking, they're pretty cool. You don't really want to be around with them for like several hours, but they're nice to chat to every now and then. Then there's extreme personalities who are like really into drama and politics, like I said, who are really like just belligerent. So yeah, I don't really like dealing with those people, or handling those people. Not really a fan of beer stuff like coffee or tea. Get mad at me, I guess. It doesn't really, like, I know some people take coffee or tea like it's their life and they rely on it maybe a bit too much. It's like, I don't know, fuck it. If I have child taste buds, I have child taste buds. I like pasta, I like mac and cheese, but I can't really deal with tea or coffee. But at the same time, I haven't really tried much. I've had some coffee, but it's never really helped me that much because with I have like multiple different forms of ADHD. So with my ADHD, caffeine is less effective. Caffeine with some people who have ADHD is less of a stimulant in terms of like more energy and more of a something that helps them focus. So my ADHD, if I have a lot of caffeine, it'll maybe boost my energy a little bit, but for the most part, it just makes me think more clearly and focus better. So I just don't really feel like I need coffee or tea. So I don't really push myself, expose myself to it in order to like it. But so far, I don't really gel with it. I say that as a 24-year-old who's, most people have a coffee addiction by like 16. So, but yeah, like if I ever get a coffee, it'll happen on its own time. I'm not in a rush. I don't get much energy out of it anyways. But if you appreciate it, like, that's great. You found something that works with you. But I do think it is unfortunate for people who are like reliant on it. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing to rely on it. Of all things to rely on, coffee and tea is one of the less offensive. But it just sucks when people are like addicted to coffee and then they, under certain circumstances, they don't have coffee for one day and they just have headaches and they're a mess. They can't function right. It's just sad to see because my mom's like that. So yeah, I think it's not very healthy. in those scenarios. But as you know, as long as you have your daily supply, you're good. But it just sucks for when you do have those off days where you can't ingest enough of it. Yeah, it's just something that it's sad to see. It's not like a big deal, but I do think people need to be a little bit more. I think there needs to be a little bit more publicity about the bad things about tea and coffee, which isn't much, frankly. But I think, you know, if you're getting your kid, I think it's responsible if you're getting your kid into coffee, that you just let them know that, hey, these are the side effects of not taking it once they're used to it. Because it can be a lot for your first time. But yeah, you generally speaking, you know you have an addiction when you have major side effects for not having said thing you're addicted to. So that goes for like weed and Adderall and all that stuff. Seafood creeps me out, but I'm sure it's tasty. I know I ranted about coffee and tea a lot. I'll be doing that a lot more today. A lot more ranting in general. But seafood, I just don't really like it when I notice the food I'm eating. Like, I don't really like eating fish and seeing the face. I've always been like this growing up. Like, the only meaty thing I can eat that has like bone and all this stuff is like chicken, and even then I get a little squeamish. I don't know why it is. I know seafood is awesome and whatnot, but every time I've had seafood, I'm like, this isn't like I probably had the wrong seafood, but I'm like, this isn't really that tasty. I did have sushi once, briefly. Well, technically not a California roll. Some people say it doesn't count, but there was a little bit of fish paste or fish whatever in it. So I was like, it's actually pretty good. I don't really mind it if I can't really notice it. But like, dude, just cut off the tail, or you know, if it's shrimp, just get rid of the skin for me. Get rid of the leg. I don't want to see. I don't want to be able to recognize what I'm eating, like clear as day. Yeah, deep fried fish sticks, and all that stuff. Um, yeah, as long as I don't feel like empathy when I'm eating it, I just feel so bad, and it makes me ugh. Like, I don't know how people eat like live octopus and shit. That is unfathomable to me. I don't really like dense, clingy, or clumsy characters. Well, not really. I don't really like, but I find them hard to tolerate in anime. Not all the time. I do, generally speaking, like them, but it's some of my least favorite tropes. Like, I like Fruits Basket, for example, but the main character is not my type at all. I just don't really like that. Like, it's just very infuriating having to deal with the writing of those characters. You can do dense, clingy, and clumsy characters well, and I do think the main lead for Fruits Basket is a decent use of it. But my my mom, for example, some of my sisters, for example, they're clumsy. It just creates a lot of mess. So I just usually tie like clumsy characters in anime to like, I'm gonna have to clean that up later. Yeah, I find them usually poorly written, and I find that they're usually, those archetypes are used as like, um they usually use like, they use a lot of plot hole. They fill a lot of plot holes, and they make a lot of plot points out of like, it's just they usually are lazily used to like, hey, this person dropped their books and now they're in love with this person who's picking up the books trope, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like, you could definitely do them well, but most of the time they're not done well, and I know that in person those types are difficult to deal with for me, because if I'm like tired or hungry or something and someone drops like soda on me, I'm not going to be happy about it. Or if I'm like talking about something and they don't get it, and I'm like, bro, what do you mean? I don't know, it's just really annoying having seen characters who are like, oh, they don't love me though. We're just chill like that, and it's just like, dude, this person's clearly swooning over you. Or they're like clumsy, or I'm clingy, and they're like saying like a lot, but they're just always on to you. I don't really like that. Like I said, with personal space, I find them kind of incessant. Oftentimes they're written very like in your face, and I'm, like I said, with the extreme personalities, I mean, like that stuff that's like in your face. The whole yandere trope is my least favorite type of dairy. that like dairy stuff. I do think I'm not really like romantic by any means, so I don't really gel with that stuff. I don't really get it. But I don't know. Those are like basically my three least favorite main character cast, maybe supporting character cast, um character archetypes. I don't really like feeling angry or getting riled up. I was wanting to do like more rage games, but I don't really like that feeling of rage. So if I do play rage games, maybe like Jump King, something that's a little bit more entry level. I don't really like getting riled up. That's why I usually avoid drama and politics. It doesn't really feel good when you're getting into a conversation or you're getting into an argument with somebody, because it's just like I could be doing something that makes me happy instead with that time. But yeah, I've more likely to do stuff I regret when I'm in a bad mood. So yeah, and it's a very basic answer, but some people really do like getting angry and riled up, and those are the people who are on Twitter all the time for like too much time. So yeah, I don't really gel with that. I think if like I said earlier, if you're gonna have so much time on Earth, you might as well spend as much of that time being happy instead of sad. If you can have any control in that. So my favorite, this is like my 3x3. So these are nine anime and non-music that represent me. I do have notes for this one, so I'm gonna pull out the notes. Okay. Yeah, okay. Damn, there's so many notes. Oh wow. Okay. So for my 3x3, um okay, that's I need another monitor so I can read chat as well. This having Discord and chat on the same monitor is difficult. So Genshin Impact, I think it's a really nice, beautiful game. Despite like the community being very obsessive, and there's a bunch of negative stigmas about it. Especially about it being a gacha game, even though it's not really that predatory of a gacha game. Like at all, really. Generally speaking, you can get the characters you want within a reasonable amount of time, and you can build like as long as you're not doing the abyss, you can build like a team that does everything you need without spending any money for like easily. People who usually complain about like it being a gacha game don't usually play it that long. They'll maybe not play at all, or they'll fail to get the character they want within a reasonable time, and then they just leave. And like, bro, there's so much more gameplay. Gacha is the least important part. There's so much emphasis on it being a gacha game and not it being like a really beautiful game. It's still one of the most beautiful looking open world games, especially that you can have on mobile. There aren't many open world games on mobile for obvious reasons. Yeah, it's gorgeous. The story is really deep. The main storyline has some low points, but it's mostly pretty damn good. There are obviously complaints about it. It's not perfect by any means, but there are parts of it that are just storytelling, like 9 out of 10 storytelling, like amazing, all this stuff. Terraria is about as perfect as it gets, is what I wrote in the notes. Made by some of the most passionate developers. Yeah, there's like I have like no complaints about Terraria. It's one of those games that just gets better and better. Uh, there we go. Okay, so people were making noise, and I'm like waiting for them to stop talking. But yeah, Terraria is really good. It's so freaking good. It's one of those games that's so well sculpted in the past 10 years, 10, 12, whatever many years, however old it is. Every update is like amazing. It's one of those games that gets free content that is like could easily be charged for. The devs are really passionate. They're one of the nicest developer teams I've ever witnessed. As someone who's been gaming since I was 4 for 20 years. They know what they're doing. They test things out. They don't rush updates. I don't think they've ever really rushed an update. Minecraft and Team Fortress 2 I have on here, both under one category. They just have really fun communities with a lot of really good content, especially back in the day. Those are nostalgia hits, but it's nice to see that they're still being played and updated. So obviously those are on here for many reasons why many people would have these games on their own list. Prong Orange is the first game I hit 1,000 hours in that I know of. That doesn't really include console games, but I don't think I really played console games. Or the very first game I played, like any MMOs or whatever, any non-Steam games. For 1,000, maybe like 500, 800. I got to like 600 hours in Gmod. But yeah, I think I'm like 1,200 hours in Prong Orange now. Yeah, it's a dinosaur game. I like dinosaurs a lot. This is one of the dinosaur games that got me this is the game that got me out of my shell. This is the game that made me start socializing. I was very kept to myself and antisocial. Prong Orange got me friends, like the one I made pixel art for. The games for. Wartime is my most played video game ever. I'm at like 7,500 hours. So I'm almost at wrong slide. I'm almost at 8,000. I'm almost at 1 year of playtime on that. A lot of it's like half of that is just spent screwing around, not actually playing, like doing anything crazy. Usually just hanging out with friends and like custom matches, or just having the game run in the background while I watch videos or something. Maybe I'm just looking at the vehicles and just gawking at how cool they look or flying them around. A lot of like casual stuff, but probably, the other half is actual gameplay. I have like more hours than a lot of my friends, but they have more actual matches than me. Cause I just loiter a lot in that game. Oh yeah, Spore is so good. Spore, still don't know to this day why hasn't been a remake of Spore. Spore is like, if there is any game that needs to be remade, it is Spore. And there's like a Spore-like game that was being worked on, and it just kind of died. I have no idea what happened to it. But Spore is so freaking buggy on modern systems. It's so sad. You'll see people who play the game now, and they're like, "Oh, everything's crashing all the time." I'm like, I swear to God, it didn't crash that much back in the day. But yeah, that's a game that holds a lot of memories. It's a 2008 game. Holds a lot of memories for many people. City of Heroes was my first ever video game back when I was 4. My dad got me into it. He used to sometimes make videos on it, which is where I found out kind of about YouTube from City of Heroes, from him. Back in like 2006 or whatever. Played this in 2004, like a year or two later, I found out about YouTube and really went into that. But yeah, it's a very cool game. You get to make like heroes and villains, like super villains, that stuff. You get to like role play, and there hasn't really been many MMO games like that have captured that same kind of feeling. It was like the competitor to World of Warcraft at the time, if that gives you any idea of how big this game was. Rest in peace. It died in like 2012, so that's unfortunate, and it had a very painful, rough last few years, but had a good run. There is a fan server out there for it, so you can technically still play it. It's not official. There's no monetization though, but there's not many people playing it, unfortunately. But it's fun if you have friends. I do also want to do like MMOs like Save Heroes, so maybe like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 I might get into. I'm going to read the chat now, just in case, because I can't read the chat when Discord's in the way. What happened there? Okay, some message got deleted. Okay. Wait, what? I'm just at raw fish. So go to this fish. becomes, well, I don't really trust the food quality in America. The fish would probably give me like some sort of disease here. So Violet Evergarden is so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna yap about that later. Genshin looks better than most gacha. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and there's so many games that try to keep recreating that. Genshin kept mobile games from dying. To be honest, I don't really believe that personally, but I also don't play mobile that much. It definitely kind of revived it and gacha games in general, but I think mobile gaming would still be fine-ish. I don't think mobile games going away ever, basically. But yeah, so many Korean pay-to-win MMORPGs. But what's funny is City of Heroes is a Korean MMORPG. I believe it's a Korean game. Yeah, it's definitely a Korean game. I'm very certain about that. But yeah, it was an MMORPG and it died, so that's kind of funny. It's not a mobile game though, so it does have that going for it. Or to talk about anime, Konosuba is like the first. It's definitely my most favorite isekai. I do like ReZero. I think people complain about the main character too much, but I like Konosuba more. It's more enjoyable for me. Super rewatchable. It's one of the few anime I ever rewatched. I watched it in dub and sub. It's also one of the few anime that is as good in sub as dub. Both of them are equally as good because they both feel like they're just fucking around in the booth, and I love that vibe. If you want to hear Japanese actors screw around in the booth, cool. If you want to hear American actors screw around in the booth, cool. They both give a different vibe while still not feeling entirely different. Listening to the dub and sub, I think it's one of the best dub sub handlings of recent anime-ish. Recent, I say, as it's like 8 years old. But it's one of those shows, just like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that you can just watch in both languages and really enjoy it equally as much. Probably Dragon Ball Z probably goes up there as something you can enjoy in both languages equally as much. Mob Psycho, yeah, Mob Psycho is really fun. I enjoyed it a lot, like a lot. First season is good, but second season's really good, and third season is something I'm still not sure how I feel about. Not that it's bad, I just don't know where it places. I don't think it's as good as season 2, but it's probably better than season 1. But yeah, it had a lot more substance than I expected. There's a lot more character development than anticipated. It's one of those shows that seems like really goofy, and then you're watching it like, oh, this is actually deep. This is actually really nice. Bunny Girl Senpai was very creative. I felt like there's a lot of creative tropes that, or not tropes, but like plot points being discovered that weren't really commonly done. Made me feel strongly about the characters. I felt like a really, not sure about connection. Well, I guess connection. I felt like a deep like empathy for them, or sympathy or whatever. Those characters were done really damn well. In the world, the concept of like disappearing forever if you are like seen as irrelevant or whatever. I don't know, it's really cool. It has a lot of play on how like being a teenager and your mind affects how you live. Basically, if you have like a certain, I don't know, a certain affliction, like maybe you're subconscious about something, that self-consciousness can physically hurt you if it riles you up or whatever. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's a lot of the teenage feelings, instead of just being like something you struggle with mentally, it's also something you struggle with physically. I don't really want to go into spoilers, but yeah, it is surprisingly well written for something that you watch. You see like the cover of it and you're like, this is goofy, this is just like fan fiction bait, and then you watch it and you're like, wait a minute, they have a point. Okay, I have here Vinland Saga, Hunter x Hunter, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are great journeys with amazing world building and character development. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter, I really liked. It's like 144 episodes, 140-ish episodes, and it's something I would rewatch. I don't usually watch shows that go into the hundreds of episodes, and I don't really rewatch shows that much, but I would probably rewatch this show. I really wish they continued on with it, but yeah, there's a lot going on there. Villain Saga was also like some of the best like character development. It's like a freaking masterclass on how to like develop your characters. It's a bit fast though. It kind of like first season, it's like there's no character development as a character, but more so as a machine of it's more of like a strength character development in season 1, and season 2 is more of a character development. I'm not gonna spoil any more about that, but it's really nice, and it has really good messages. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is just really goofy and bingeable. I really like it. Not much to say about that. It's just the person who made it just has so many ideas. That's all I'm gonna say. That the person has so many ideas. It's crazy. Not all of them stick, but most of them do. And they also have good style. It's very stylish, I should say that. Evergarden was beautiful. Violet Evergarden was very beautiful in every way possible. And super emotional as well. I did cry in that one scene, so that's all I'm gonna say. That one scene, I could watch it again and cry without like the context, and it was like, what the fuck? But yeah, very emotionally poggers. Asobase is my favorite comedy. Made me laugh the most. I don't think there's any anime other than maybe Konosuba that's made me laugh this much. It's so funny and stupid. I love it. It's my go-to recommendation for people who want a comedy. Yeah, not much to say about that. Go check it out if you want something that's actually funny, because not all Japanese or not all anime comedies are that funny to a Western audience, because they're not really meant for, a lot of them aren't really meant for a Western audience. Although sometimes it's slapstick and you'll still get the jokes, but like for example, I really enjoyed Nichijou, but a lot of jokes did fly over my head because I'm not Japanese. So some of the jokes there were something you would know if you were Japanese, but not from anywhere else. But then there's obviously some slapstick stuff, humor that translates beyond language barriers and beyond cultures and whatnot. Girls in Panzer is it's one of the most recent shows on this list for me, as in when I watched it, not when it was made. I watched it with my friends, mostly one friend. We watched it all. We binged it all in like a week or two or whatever, off and on, like a few episodes at a time. That was so damn fun, and it had way better animation than I expected. I almost never watch anime with friends because I generally like to experience it on my own. But that was a show where I feel like it's much better if you watch it with friends. It's just so good. Yeah. Earlier I forgot to mention my honorable mentions for my games is VR Chat, because it's very novel, or was at the time very like new. Gmod, as I kind of mentioned earlier, it's very good because of the creativity, community, all that. Used to be some good content back in the day. Not many people make content like videos on Gmod, but most of the content is still there in mod form, add-on form. Then Arc, I really like just because dinosaurs, and there's a lot you can do with friends. And then I'll go on to the honorable mentions with anime, and then I'll read the chat again. Fruits Basket, I mentioned like twice already. I really like the aesthetic. I don't know, it was probably my favorite shoujo, or one of my favorite shoujo shows. Good character development. I'm talking about the 2020 version or 2019 version or whatever. And I didn't watch the older ones, but yeah, so complicated in a good way. There's like a lot of things to keep track of, but still like really fun, but emotional. So like one day you're just like, oh, this is a really fun, cheering episode, and the next one's like, oh damn, that's deep. person making noise. I swear. I told them I'd be streaming. Yeah, Agretsuko was my first anime I watched on my own. Like, I went out of my way to watch it. Like, I'd seen Dragon Ball and stuff on like TV, as like most American kids, most kids in general really did. Like, you know, see like Naruto and all that stuff. You'd see like, maybe if you're on the right channel, you'll see glimpses of like One Piece or Full Metal Alchemist. But Agretsuko was the first anime I really went on my way to watch as a solo viewer. It was a very interesting first watch. I mean, people, I guess it is a lot of people's first watch in a way, like in a very specific niche. People who got into anime in 2018 probably got into Agretsuko because it was one of the first anime shown on Netflix. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I remember PewDiePie did something with Sanrio characters. There's some other stuff like YouTubers talking about Agretsuko or not. And that kind of got me into it. But yeah, I was watching like stuff on Netflix at the time. I was like, I might as well watch this. It's really fun. It gets depressing, especially later on. It's a lot of commentary about the adult life. Definitely watch that if you want something more relatable, because a lot of anime is on high school. This one's based on like college and mostly an actual cubicle office environment. And Yuri, I should mention, is really goofy. Kind of like Girls in Panzer. It's super fun and has better animation than you would expect. It's basically a lot of shit posting. Kind of like Asobi Asabase as well. Kind of like a mix between the two, the kind of energy. And Girls in Panzer is also really funny as well. But yeah, I'm gonna read the chat now. My microphone is in the way of my notes. Okay. Northern lights have been observed and it is time to enjoy stream properly. Nice. I'm glad you burnt the image of colorful lights into your retinas. Agretsuko feels very normie, but it's a great watch. Yeah, it's a little bit more like The Office if it was an anime. Well, not really. The Office is a lot more like... I don't know. It's closer to The Office than it is the other conventional anime. Yeah, never hear anybody talk about it. Yeah, sadly, not many people talk about it. But it's pretty dope. I'm gonna continue on then. I know this debut is like very ranty. And we've been here for an hour. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm really scramble brained because there's a lot to keep track of. And my ADHD doesn't like me. Okay. For music, Biggie Smalls is my favorite rapper of all time. I do think he's the most fun and still talented rapper of the 90s. And I think his stuff still like blows a lot of the modern rap out of the water. Not saying the modern rap is bad. There's a lot of really good modern rap. I don't usually listen to rap a lot, but I listen to it sometimes because of my friends. They do. A lot of my introduction to rappers were through friends. Dude, bro has like not only amazing music but amazing lyrics. I don't know, dude. There's like he's a one of a kind for sure. Linkin Park, I really like their Hybrid Theory album. You have the Crawling in My Skin, which sounds like a meme, but when you hear it amongst all the other bangers, you're like, damn, this entire album, every track hits. Awesome. And Nirvana also I really like listening to. My dad used to listen to like Linkin Park, Nirvana and stuff growing up. So it's like basically these represent the music I grew up on in the 2000s. I like Tyler. I like Tyler the Creator. His Igor album is awesome. I know, kind of a basic pick, but sue me, it's good. And Gorilla's Demon Days album is also really good. I think both of those albums are super creative, very original albums. Every single song on both of them is very like memorable. But yeah, Kino, I really like that hopeless feeling, like everything's like kind of somber. It's a Russian band. Does a lot of kind of depressing music-ish. Not like angsty, but like everything around us is falling apart and it kind of sucks, but I'm gonna sing about stuff anyways. Kind of political in a way. I don't really know the lyrics. I don't really know what the lyrics mean or what each song is about that well. But I do know it's all about like shit is falling apart and that kind of sucks. Oof, Lamau. But yeah, I do think it's also very creative artist. And it gives you a good feel of like a lot of Eastern European, Russian like vibes. So yeah, if you're ever in like a bad mood or like down in the dumps, it's pretty relatable in a way. Carpenter Brut, like their music just doesn't age. Like you can listen to their music back when he made it and now it's just like equally as much of a banger. It's all super catchy. It makes you feel like a badass listening to it. Almost everything he's put out has been amazing. Not much else to say. The pixel art buddy of mine that I mentioned is who got me into Carpenter Brut. And I think he got me into Kino as well. But that might have been someone else. But yeah, that Lamprey is severely underrated. I Am Lamprey is someone that I found out through Moist Critical, Charlie, Penguin Zero, whatever. He has like barely anyone listens to his music, unfortunately. But so much of his stuff is really good. Gives off like 2000s vibes. His Idols album is really nice. And I'm just saying really good, very good, cool, awesome. But dude, I could listen to a lot of his music on loop. Same with Carpenter Brut. And I'm not really a Vocaloid artist kind of guy. I'm not really into Vocaloids that much. I don't have anything against them. I just don't usually listen to them. But I think Inu Bakamori is very fun. They kind of give off Kino vibes, not in the fact like the instruments aren't the same. They kind of give off that like I don't know how to say it. Maybe like he has like similar beats per minute or something. But they're both just moods. They're both moods. The musician. And some honorable mentions. I do like some city pop like Honori and Miki Matsuhara or whatever. I'm not good with names. Those, I mean, city pop just goes hard. I don't have to explain that. It's all also vibes. I really like Vondi. I think a lot of his music is his vocals especially is recognizable, and he has a lot of range in his instrumentals and whatnot. Dude, like like when I heard his music in what's that freaking anime called? I forgot. Oh no. How did I forget? Osama Ranking. Ranking of Kings. There you go. When I listened to it, it was so emotional. Such a good beat. And Osama Ranking should be also an honorable mention anime. It's so freaking crazy. It's very well paced. Maybe it gets a little bit slower towards like the end ish. But man, that's an amazing show. Everyone should watch. And Vondi's like, I think it's his intro. Yeah, I believe it's the intro. Man, just awesome. It's just perfect. It's literally perfect for that show. And the animation for that opening is also amazing for it. I like really listen to Infected Mushrooms a lot, especially before Carpenter Brut. Infected Mushrooms does a lot of like, I don't know how to explain it, but usually people who watch his, listen to his music get like high and shit. I don't really do any of that, or I don't do any of that. But like, you don't have to be high to enjoy it. You don't have to be on shrooms to enjoy it. But yeah, it's very like, I really don't explain it. They have their own explanation for it if you just look it up. But yeah, dude, also vibes. Makes you feel badass, but also kind of trippy slightly. Bon Jovi, I really lately have been getting his song stuck in my head all the time. It's really annoying because I'll just be like chilling and then I'll get, whoa, living on a prayer. And then I'm a cowboy, dead or alive or whatever, and I'm just like, damn you, I'm trying to go to sleep, leave me alone, please leave me alone, I just want to go to sleep. Okay, last slide, and then I'm gonna talk about rent. We're just gonna rant more about stuff, or I'm actually gonna talk about my plans and some other things, and talk about my history, and then maybe like fan tags, all that stuff, all the generic stuff people do in a debut. But we have one more slide. Le finale. Here's a burger I made. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna read chat just in case. Oh yeah, don't. It's fine that you're late. Dude. I'm just happy. I'm just happy people showed up. You know. But let's taking photos in pitch darkness and then shifting to an image of the ocean in midday on the camera. See it. Oh yeah, you definitely got showed me. Wait, you can't see. Wait, midday on camera display was awesome. I can't see. Okay, I just had a stroke reading that. Oh, because it's a run-on sentence. That's why. But yeah, definitely would want to see. Let's see. No Taiko Onuki. What the heck? Yeah. That song. No, that's a very specific song I really like. I don't listen to that artist a lot. I put specific artists. I should have clarified actually. So basically with games, these are games. That's all I have to say there. But with anime, that's all I have to say there actually. I think really the only note I had was music. So with music, I didn't include video game OSTs. Because if I included video game OSTs, that would be the entire list. It would just be video game OSTs. And then maybe Carpenter Bride. Not saying that none of these are like comparable to music OSTs, but like, dude, I could just make a separate 3x3 for music OSTs alone. So I completely avoided music OSTs entirely here. I guess with anime, I tried to choose like more impactful stuff to me, things that left an impression. And games is only games that I've played. That's the other thing. The games is only the games I've played. I didn't include games I've watched because I've watched way more games than I've played. I used to watch people let's play games all the time. I grew up watching people play games because I couldn't afford them myself. Eventually, when I could start affording games myself, I decided I'd rather just play on streams. So that's why I'm going to debut and we're going to be playing games on stream. Because I want to make content on my experiences with games so I can get first like impressions and whatnot. But more importantly, so I can record and document memories I have. I want to have like my memories like recorded because my memory is pretty dog water. It's bad. If I can have my memories in the form of, oh hey, there's a nice 22-minute YouTube video on it, I can just watch it and I can remember a lot of the special moments. That's cool. So a lot of the content creating stuff isn't just because me want money, we want clout, we want attention because I'm a streamer and I'm attention devoid. But a lot of like a good part of why is because I want to be able to remember these games I play. You know, because as much as I love these games, I don't remember what I did playing Spore 12 years ago. Sorry. 14 years ago? Something like that's really old game. I don't remember much about City of Heroes, even though that's my first game I ever played. The only ones I have like memories I can recall upon on the spot is games that I've recently played. But yeah, anyways, my plans and goals moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my notes again so I can't read the chat because I have things set up weirdly and I can't get my OBS to stay on one side of the monitor. It wants to take up most of the screen, so I'm just like, fuck it. We ball. Yeah, maybe release music or have a karaoke night. I would like to sing eventually someday. it's not guaranteed. It's very likely I won't ever sing ever, because I can't even build up the courage to sing in a recording that I won't even show anyone. Like, if I can't even record myself singing to critique my own singing, then I'm probably not going to sing to a crowd of X amount of people for it to stay online on the internet forever till the day I die. So if I do sing, I want to be at least good at it, at least decent at it, not ear grating. But it would be a cool event to have a karaoke night for someday eventually. I kind of have a general idea what songs I'd like to sing and what my voice would fit for. I've gotten better at singing. I used to be like really awful at singing. I've gotten better at using my diaphragm, using my chest, knowing when not to use my chest or diaphragm, like knowing what. Yeah, my vocal folds are more developed. I don't sound like an angsty teen anymore. I just sound like an angsty young adult. And I can get deeper a lot easier than I used to. Because I used to be high pitched until I was like 20. So that's pretty cool. Well, I say high pitched, but not traditionally sounding. And I would like to release music. I know I Am Lamprey is a very small creator. I would like to, very small musician. I would like to make music with I Am Lamprey because his vibes are very much like the music I would like to create. Not exactly super angsty like 2000s music, but more like maybe like 2010, that kind of like darker, more poetic music. I would like to basically do the singing, do a lot of the script. I love the script. Do all that and then have him just do the music and the vocal mixing. But I don't think that'll ever happen. But if I were to do a music with someone, I would love to do it with I Am Lamprey because he's severely underrated. He's so underrated. He's, in my opinion, to this day, he's still like the most underrated artist I've actively listened to. I know not everyone is into that vibe of like darker stuff. And sometimes he does do the metal screaming. I know people don't like that. He doesn't do it all the time, but he has really nice vocals just in general. I would love to do music with him. Like he's like my default to the question of who would you want to collab with for music. Do an art stream when I'm comfortable. I like to be able to do pixel art. So I like to make cheeseburger live on stream. It's kind of hard to do certain things. It takes me like a long time. Well, I say a long time. It usually takes me on average 3 separate days of like 4 to 8 hour sessions. So like 16 to 32 hours, something like that, per artwork, because I'm slow as heck. What was that? Happy birth debut. Oh, Shed followed. Poggers, thank you, man. You are legally obligated to stay here for the rest of the stream and hear me rant. Kidding, do it when you're comfortable. So like me, yeah, I've been tempted to send you me singing Barfy, but we have super thin walls and I don't want to sing and have like people like die or like wake up, because my brother sleeps at really weird times. So if I sing at like 6 p.m., he's like still in bed or something. And like he's asleep right now. It's 7 p.m. 7, almost 8 p.m. So it's really hard to sing here. So I might have to do like singing in a car or something. Set up like a laptop in a car and it'll be really awkward. No. I think he'd run at me like Senator Armstrong and punch me like he did to frickin' whatever that guy's name is. Raiden. Okay, back to the scheduled episode. I would like to voice act or narrate in a project I don't own. Okay. I can voice act and narrate for my own videos all I want. Why do I want to do it on someone else's channel? The reason being, because I really liked watching videos where people would do that when I was growing up. Like, C-Dog used to do a lot of voice acting content on his channel. It's really cool having other people voice in his videos. I just thought that was really cool. I think it's more valuable if I can voice act or narrate in a project someone else has done. It's more fulfilling. Ironically, I don't really like editing my own content. I'd rather edit for someone else. A lot of people are like this. They would rather edit for someone else than for themselves. Because it's just more fresh. It feels more rewarding. It's less cringe. But, I'm stuck editing my own content because I can't find an editor that would want to not be paid at all. Understandably, because I can't provide financially to an editor anytime soon. But yeah, dude, voice acting or narrating a project just reminds me of especially the 2010s where people would just so many collabs back in the day consisted of, I have this person, they voiced this character on my channel, and that's it. That's the collab. Nowadays, the collab's a lot more interactive, but there's less collabs where it's just this person voiced in my meme or whatever I'm doing. But yeah, I would like to host or feature on a podcast, preferably feature. I don't need another thing to edit unless someone wants to host. If I have a co-host, they can edit the thing. Everyone wants a podcast. Everyone wants to yap. Get over it. Everyone wants to do it. I know everyone complains, here's the millionth podcast. I'm sorry, not only are podcasts a really great outlet and a really great way for people to support people they like and to hear more about them and to know more about them and to have something to do when they're commuting to work, but it also makes in a pretty good amount of money. And unfortunately, if I want to do content creating as a job, I'm gonna have to have at least some level of money if I want to have this as a job. That's just how jobs are. You kind of have to have money to have a job. So but I mean, I wouldn't do it just for the money. But that would be, I can't lie to you and say that's not going to be something that is a role. Part of why I want to do content is so I can have money, so I can have people to make better content for me. I can't do better content. I can't do uploading on my main channel, side channel, a podcast channel, streaming all at the same time. I have to have money to have editors if I want to do it. I like editing. I don't like editing for myself as much. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the dream. I really look up to creators who have a few editors under their belt. They have a manager or something. I want to have a team. I really want to have that that support group, that experience, because it's just cool. I really look up to it. It's it's very cool to see that YouTubers. So I'm a person who's been watching YouTube since the site, about a year or two after the site came up, and I'll talk more about the years and whatnot. But I've been watching YouTube for so long. I've seen it go through so many different stages. And I'm so proud that YouTube is at the point where people can have a podcast, people can have multiple channels, people can have streams as well. They can have all this stuff. And they can also have a team. They can have people working on it with them. I think that's such a cool thing that this person who grew up doing a creative job managed to start their own company. That's definitely a very American mindset. In America, in some countries like Japan, love startup companies because it's like the American dream. I just really admire people who can have have more of a purpose other than just being entertaining. They can also fund livelihoods of other people. I'm not really wanting a big group. If I were to have if I were ever to blow up to be of any size, I don't really care about the clout. I don't really care about the money. But I need some level of it to have what I would prefer, maybe 1 or 2 editors, a manager to do all the accounting and getting me sponsorships and whatnot, all that cool stuff. And maybe someone who helps with ideas or helps with software, coding or something with me on the side. Someone who maybe tosses ideas around. A small team of no more than 5 people. I'd be satisfied with 1 or 2 people. Maybe 1 person on payroll and then someone else, someone I go to for advice every now and then. But yeah, I just like the idea that I can start a company and support someone else. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I enjoy supporting other people. That's why I've been on YouTube for so long. That's why I've been proactive on liking, commenting on videos and whatnot. I think supporting other people as a human being is one of the nicest things you can do. And that's how we have freaking cars and shit. We have guns and explosions and freaking eating dinosaurs and all this cool stuff because people work together. So yeah. And also I grew up in a city where it's like everyone in the city hates each other, but the moment a natural disaster strikes, we're all like, okay, buddies, I'm helping out my homie. I'm cooking tacos for the neighbors, or I'm getting this person out of the flood. I grew up in that kind of community, so I really like. We have a lot of people who just start up companies. Like you'll see like taco trucks and shit. It's just supporting people is just the most valuable thing on earth to me, and I would like to be able to do that with my own content. So rant over. But yeah, ultimately money and some level of notoriety, some level of trust goes a long way. Host and feature in another event. I want to do a lot of events on my channel, inspired by like Ludwig, Sea Dog, and all that stuff. I like to be in events for other people, of course, supporting them. I think it'd be very cool. I think these are great ways to create memories and friendships. Yeah, I mean, I could probably rant about that for a lot. I'll just leave it at that. I have a huge list of ideas of events I want to do. Huge list. I have massive lists of things I want to do with my content, my channel, my streams, my this, that, all of that stuff. I want to break outside of my comfort zone more often. That's part of why I am streaming. I could just make videos all the time. Only make videos all the time, which is a lot more comfortable. But streaming helps me kind of break out of that comfort zone more often. Most people who stream, they do a lot of networking and whatnot. Networking is a really easy way to get outside your comfort zone because you meet people. That's something that's uncomfortable originally, usually. And then they also introduce you to new things. That can also be uncomfortable. Through being uncomfortable, you progress the most as a human being. People who are constantly living in a state of everything is perfect, everything is lovely, generally they change less than people who are constantly in some level of turmoil or, having to work their butt off. So I think to be a better human being, breaking out my comfort zone, making memories, making friendships is a good way to do that. Foster an accepting and positive community. I don't really want a community that's like toxic or negative. There's a lot of communities out there where the whole joke is that the chat makes fun of the streamer. I don't mind poking fun at people, a little bit of having a little bit of tomfoolery, like teasing me. You can do all that. But like at the end of the day, I want to know, I want to be able to be like, hey man, this week's been rough for me, and not have people just like omega lolling in chat or hooing in a tweet of mine. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not one of those people who doesn't mind being a punching bag. I'm one of those people who want people to feel comfortable with being themselves around my content, and I want to feel comfortable myself. I think it's very important that people can express who they are. Not everyone feels that need. Some people, they have their own private friend groups, and that's where they bitch about chat being toxic, and that's fine for them. But for me, I want things to feel genuine. I don't want anyone to think I'm lying. I don't want there to be any oh, this guy's putting up just a personality. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm putting up some level of personality, so I'm not extremely boring like I am today. Today, I'm going to be ranting a lot. Eventually, over time, as I get more outside of my comfort zone and I make more memories and I have more experience, I'm going to be a lot better at talking, and I'm going to be ranting less. And like I said, make many memories, friends and memories. As someone who, like I said, doesn't remember things easily, and generally keeps to himself, this is a good way to stay outside of my comfort zone and have something to look back on. So even if this whole streaming thing doesn't turn out well, I never get successful, I could never have a team, I could never do all this stuff, at the very least, I got something out of it that I can tell people that I got something out of it without them being like, yeah, you just wasted your time. Because I know at the end of the day, I didn't really waste my time, but family members or whatever be like, Yeah, you probably should have just gone to college, or you probably should be working instead and all this stuff. Like, dog, you don't know how long I've been wanting to start properly streaming and making videos. It's been a long time. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how this works. Okay. I think that's it. Yep. All right. I'm gonna get bigger because bigger is better. Okay, I'm gonna read the chat real quick. Sounds like little bro needs some AirPod Maxes for sleep. Man, you know, he probably would do that too. He has a wireless headset, so yeah. My brother does use his wireless headset to like use a restroom, to go into the kitchen to get food, to mow the lawn all the time. Can't really wear it to go to sleep, but you know, AirPod Maxes, he probably would just put it on drown out mode or noise canceling mode and just listen to music. He already kind of listens. He usually listens to a TV to fall asleep, so he usually has like a streamer on. Also, why is it so true that editing yourself is so much worse when it's for yourself? I think it's just natural. I think there's very few people who prefer editing for themselves. I don't hate editing for myself, but I don't think I would like editing for myself for every single video I do. I think that's a great way to have burnout. We will support you getting that bag. Our bag, yes. Yes, everyone will be sharing my money because I'm a philanthropist like Mr. Beast. Hyper-realistic community, family dynamic. I don't really want things... I'm not saying you're saying this, but it's just a thought that came up. I don't really want things to get paranoid, parasocial. Like, I'm not... Like Ludwig says, I'm not your best friend. And then he later backs down and he says, I'm your best friend once he joins YouTube, but we'll ignore that fact. I don't want people to feel obligated to have me as a person in their life. But I don't mind like a very slight level of parasocialness as long as you're self-observant enough to realize that this could get too far. As long as you have your chickens figured out, your hens laying eggs, then you can be, you know, you can be like more casual with me. I really don't mind. I'm a very casual person. But at the end of the day, I don't owe anyone anything, and no one owes me anything. You don't owe me your Twitch primes. You don't owe me your subs. I don't owe you my, you know, care and affection. As harsh as it sounds, you know, everyone has off days. Everyone has a level of privacy they should maintain. I'm just saying this for future reference for people who, if I upload this video or watch this VOD or whatever, I think most people know already not to get too parasocial, but you know, I want people to feel comfortable around me, but I don't want them to feel super comfortable to where they treat me like their boyfriend or something like that. That's kind of weird. Like siblings, respect, all about personal fulfillment. That family community thing was about where you're from and how they hate each other, but they talk to. Oh, okay. That's funny. It just stemmed to that parasocial thing. I don't know how I connected those dots, but I wasn't thinking that's what you're talking about. But yeah, by some string of brain workings, it reminded me I did want to talk about parasocial stuff. Hyper realistic community, family dynamic. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of funny. I don't really want to dox myself, even though I'm in a city that's like freaking massive and you could never find me, because it's one of the biggest cities ever. But yeah, where are you from? They hate each other. Oh, hi Chiseko, first time chatter Pog. That's literally the goat who made this model. I feel so bad. I can't give him. I don't have the iPhone tracking yet. Eventually, I'll have an iPhone to have better tracking. I will be able to do your model service. Because some people don't put in just a little bit extra. Some people need to put set parameters, have better lighting, all that stuff. I did talk about it in my video. But yeah, if you commission a model, respect the model, respect yourself, respect the artist by giving it the best scenario it can. And I'm being very disrespectful using an Android camera, SMH. But no, yeah, I spent a lot of time getting the parameters right. What's annoying is with the parameters, if my glasses are like on my nose, my eyes are treated as if they're smaller or bigger. I don't really know. It's funny. We did talk about glasses briefly. It's just hilarious that like I noticed I adjusted the eye parameters and then I moved the glasses away from my face a little bit too much. And then I was like, wait, the parameters off. And I fixed it partially, quote unquote fixed it. And then I adjusted my glasses back to normal. And I was like, wait, it's off again. So yeah, I was just like, oh God. Pocket, I thought we were dating already. Waff, you know I'm already engaged with Favoki. Actually married, quote unquote. No, but yeah, I've been lucky for a while. The track is actually pretty good for a webcam. Well, it's an Android device that is like point blank, kind of point blank with serviceable lighting. So it's at least serviceable. So that's pretty cool. With the default parameters, it was pretty bad because the default parameters are always bad. But and in that video, the default parameters or the parameters I had set then were tweaked very like briefly. I spent maybe like an hour tweaking them, but since then I spent like another 3 hours tweaking them, so it's even better. But yeah, I noticed a very easy tip for people is with the smoothing. So very important thing when you have a VTuber model is smoothing. Don't have it too high. It depends on the model and depends on the areas affected. But for the mouse specifically, it's best to have it on either 1 smoothing or 0 smoothing. If I have it on 1 smoothing, if I have it on smoothing in general, it won't open and close as much as it is now. It's It's doing that because the mouth smoothing is off entirely. I noticed even going from 0 to 1 mouth smoothing, completely different vibe. But if I set like certain like the body motions to smoothing, to have no smoothing, it would look kind of laggy and staticky because the frame rate of the camera isn't fast enough. The frame rate of the software isn't fast enough. You know, set to 60 FPS, there would actually be stuttering if I did something like this. Yeah, that's really an important thing. Okay, I still have a huge list. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I will probably be streaming for 1 more hour, which is on pace. I originally wanted this to be a 2 to 4 hour stream. I was thinking 3 hours to begin with. Over time, you learn better what parameters you should keep, so don't worry about it. Yeah, obviously. I think I kind of figured it out, though. The parameters are like 90% of how I want them to be. They're actually pretty good. It's just, at this point, it's limited by the tracking. But yeah, as long as it's not moving too much. I can move quite a bit, though. I can move a lot. I should actually talk about my design, but I'm not sure which one I want to talk about first. Thanks, Cheese. Appreciate the support. You must be very proud of me. Finally, someone proud of me. Who, you know, finally a father figure in my life. Okay, so I have a big old list here. Oh yeah, so I want to talk briefly about my past. I know I talked about it briefly, like off and on throughout, scattered through the stream. So around 20 years ago, I started playing my first video game ever, City of Heroes, when I was 4. Keep in mind, I'm 24. I was born in 2000. So generally where the year is, you subtract 2024 by 20 years, that's 2004. So yeah, I was 4 then. It gives you a general idea. Obviously it depends because I'm like I'm like halfway through the year. So I'm usually like 4 or 5, depending on how you do it. About 9-10 years ago, I watched my first YouTube video, so I have like no idea what my first YouTube video was. I don't really remember, again, I have bad memory. I don't remember the stuff I was watching back in the day, other than like Roblox and some City of Heroes stuff and whatever meme was popular at the time. Yeah, I watched my first YouTube video pretty much a year after getting into City of Heroes. Probably like within a year after YouTube, or either within the year of or following year of when YouTube came out in 2005, February. Very long ago. This is why YouTube means a lot to me. This is why I have a lot of philosophy around YouTube. I've consumed more YouTube than I've spent my entire life in American education. So that's embarrassing, but also a epic flex. So generally the average person spends about 12 to 18,000 hours in education pre-K to graduation, not including college. I've spent at least around that much, if not more. I mathed it out vaguely. Yeah, I've watched like way too many videos in here. The reason why I'm saying this is because it will show you why I value YouTube. It'll show you why I value content creation. It'll show you why I value VTubing. This is why I'm going to be talking about these years. This isn't like me floating my own boat, only partially, because everyone has an ego, and I need my ego slightly fulfilled every once in a while. But roughly 13 years ago, I dreamed of becoming a YouTuber, mostly thanks to the podcast. I wrote partially, but I would say mostly, probably in retrospect. This is also a reason why I talked about wanting to have my own team. So Yogscast is one of those things that it's always been a team, pretty much. Like since the very first, like since I did World of Warcraft before Shadow of Israel Minecraft, they pretty much, it's like 2 people back then, maybe a third person, like a another, yeah, two to 4 people generally on that channel. Eventually Yogscast became the big team it is now that does like Christmas charity, Jolly Jam stuff. It meant so much to me. Like I genuinely, I'm not even kidding, I had a dream when I was like 12 or 11ish, like 2011, around there, where I was a part of the Yogscast. This is about as parasocial as it gets for me. I was a part of the Yogscast in that dream, and I don't remember dreams easily because I also don't remember shit, period. But I remember this dream relatively vividly, even though it's been like so many years since. I remember just being part of Yogscast and being up there with people I loved, and that just made me realize how much I really liked that team dynamic. They're one of the first companies that stemmed from YouTube, period, ever. Like up there with like Machinima, Smosh, whatnot. So yeah, that's why I value like stuff like having editors, manager, accountant. Obviously, I need money for that if I want to respectfully pay. Like I'm down to having someone edit for me for free, but eventually, for the betterment of my mental health and my satisfaction as a human being, I'm gonna have to pay you eventually. Like if I blow up and I have like an editor who's done like 20 plus videos for me, however many videos for me, and suddenly I get to the point where I can easily sustain myself living on my own, I'm gonna have to give them the money. Even if I don't have them anymore as an editor, it's like, dude, you helped me. I don't know why people like scam editors so much. Like, okay, I'm only gonna scam you for like X amount of years, but eventually it's gonna pay, I promise. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you gotta respect the people in your team, and the most successful companies are the most goodwill companies. And I mean success in not just terms of raw profit, I mean in terms of like value to society. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of why. And I think also kind of goes back to Terraria having a really good dev team. I grew up playing Terraria a lot since like 2011. Around the same time I got into Yogscast, I just realized how tight the team was. They're very supportive of their community. So yeah, just seeing like some dev teams that are really nice and seeing some content creation teams that are really nice really inspired me to have some passion for content creation in a team scenario, especially. Anyways, that's enough yapping about that. I'm going to do a video on this someday, so it will be more concise and less rambling. Exactly 10 years ago, I made my first YouTube video that has since been deleted. Well, I say exactly, it's pretty much within May of 2014. It was like May or June. So it's like 9-10 years. It was a really crappy video on Terraria, like 3 minutes long, where I was like, hey, I'm gonna be making videos on this channel as Pipsqueak. Video's long gone. Those video on my channel is like from January 2015 or something. Now. Not the Ryzawa channel, not the Ryzawa Live channel, not my gaming or whatever. I'm gonna clarify the gaming and creative channel and all that stuff. But on the channel I've been uploading for the longest. That channel was created in 2012 because Google Plus forced you to have an account. But I'd been watching YouTube since before, and that is my very first account. The Ryza channel, Ryzawa VT, is my placeholder, or my it's just a seat warmer tag. But yeah, and I also made a YouTube chat, a Twitch channel. I had my first Twitch stream playing Minecraft. Oh yeah, I made my first Twitch channel then, and I deleted that Twitch channel because I didn't know how to rename it. And I found how to rename it like a month after I deleted that channel and made a new channel. So that was funny. And then the following month, I had my first stream, like 2015 or 20 whatever, playing Minecraft. Almost 6 years ago, I found about VTubers. I know there's a bit of a jump from 9 to 6 years, but I mean, there's jumps throughout this whole thing. Not everything. There's not always something of significance in every year. About 6 years ago, I found about VTubers through Kisna I. Yeah, almost 6 years ago. It's like 5, coming up on 6 in June, I believe. Like 2018, basically. Almost 5 years ago, I started like actively watching VTubers. So in 2019, I started watching a YouTuber called Natsumi Moe, which I'm just gonna spoil the fun. They are Shiori from Hololive, and I'm so fucking proud of her. Literally my first VTuber I ever started, like I ever subbed to and actually started watching, is part of in Hololive, baby. And speaking of Hololive, the following year, just over 4 years ago, January of 2020 is when I went down the VTuber rabbit hole through a VTuber, not Fubuki, not Korone, not Pekora, though those are definitely the first batch of VTubers I watched when I started going down a rabbit hole. It's Pipi Tenshi Kanata, who did PowerPoints. Just like today, she revolutionized the PowerPoint debut. Made it like a trend. Maybe not a pioneer, but a trendsetter. Yeah, I don't really watch her that much more. I don't really watch corporate VTubers. I don't really watch VTubers much in general. I know that comes off as ironic for someone who watches so much YouTube. I only have so much time in the day to watch creators. I watch way less creators now than I used to. I used to be subbed to over 500 channels back in 2020. In just 2 years, I'm subbed to under 200 channels because I'm trying to make time and space for streaming and stuff. But I still treasure the memories of binging through all of those. And I think Pekor was probably my favorite back then because she is so funny even now. But I'm going to read the chat soon. I'm almost done catching up on my lore. Oh yeah, I guess I could talk about that briefly. Also 4 years ago, when I went down that rabbit hole, a certain someone in the chat knows. I don't know if I want to leak. I mean, he's probably talked about it before. He talks a lot. There's a creator I watched who I had been following on Twitter since 2016. I started watching his streams at the very end of 2018, back when I started watching anime in late 2018 with Agretsuko. There's this creator named Kerbato. He was usually he just did face cam streams or like hand cam streams and played like Osu and all this stuff. I watched him, like I'd been following him for 2 years, 2016. By 2018, it was 2 years on Twitter, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go check him out because he seems pretty entertaining. Watched a lot of his videos. The reason why I'm mentioning this person is because this guy's also a huge influence to me. And I could talk about Sea Dog because he's also another influence from like 2016, 17, who I still watch. But Kerbato eventually turned into a VTuber, and it was really cool. And you got to see his model like in May 2020, I believe, is when he first became a VTuber. And that's when I started wanting to become a VTuber myself. That's why he's the main reason why I wanted to become a VTuber myself, because I saw it as something that was obtainable. Because back in 2020, it seemed like to most people you had to have a lot of money, you had to know the right people, or you had to be a part of Hololive, or maybe Niji Sanji. You had to be a corporate VTuber basically to be a VTuber. There were some indies, but it was really difficult to get into. When I saw him become a VTuber, it really opened my eyes that I could do this. So that's when in 2020 I wanted to become a VTuber. Eventually he rebranded as Kaizoku Kaninu or Kaito Kaizoku. I forget the order because I'm bad with names in general. And then eventually he became part of Niji Sanji as Mysterious, and now he is K9 Kuro. He is the GOAT. I remember just hanging out in his chat a lot. Like he's the streamer I've watched probably even to this day, probably watched the most like actively on stream live, because I usually don't watch streams because they take up a lot of time. But yeah, that guy is a big reason why I'm here. Sea Dog is a big reason why I'm here, because he has a lot of fun. His entire vibe is just a person having fun, which is kind of the vibe I want to have here. And also like a big reason why I want to have streams, so I can turn streams into videos, so I can remember those streams. Anyways, that is a lot of ranting, but that is very important information. That those two are basically my biggest inspirations for becoming a VTuber. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, a lot has happened in the last 4 years since I planned to become a VTuber, but we're here. So, you know, we're finally here. It took a long time, but I'm not really that mad about taking that long, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a general gist. I knew I wanted to make content out of my streams. I knew I wanted to do stuff like that, but I didn't really exactly have a game plan. Only recently, only this year, do I really know what I want to do with my channel. Only this year do I have massive lists of all my plans that I can do for the next several years. So I'm glad I got to debut now, in a sense, as opposed to 2020. Because if I debuted in 2020, sure, I'd probably be more successful by now. But I also wouldn't have any clue what I'm doing. I'd make a lot more mistakes, which is fine to make mistakes. And I'm going to make mistakes here. But I also would have... I feel like I would have been forced into a path that maybe I wouldn't know how to handle things. Yeah, and I'm afraid if I did go into VTubing back then, I would just be like one of those people who only follow trends. I don't know, there's only so much confidence I have in what I would have done back then. Maybe I would have given up early and then just never tried and go like to college or whatever. You know, like I streaming for 3 months and I'm like, this isn't it. But now it's like, okay, I actually have a game plan for both streaming and videos. That makes it a lot nicer. It's basically just copium for the fact that I'm salty that I didn't get to debut long ago. But it's also like, it's really cool to have this start and a plan and everything. Especially as someone who's watched so much YouTube. It would be kind of ironic for me to watch so much YouTube in 2020, by 2020, and have no idea what I'm doing when creating content. Because I'm like, dude, you've had so much time to figure it out. The fact that it took me so long to figure out what I want to do for content properly. But it's nice that like now that I'm finally doing content, I know what I'm doing. That's a pretty cool feeling. Anyways, I'm gonna read a chat. I know it's a lot of rambling. I'm gonna say what left I want to ramble before I turn off the stream in probably like 40-50 minutes, maybe an hour tops. I want to explain my design. I did talk about the placeholder overlays. The overlays aren't like original, or the overlays aren't like proper. They're placeholder, temporary, basically. I'll talk about more later if I have to. Talk about Android tracking. I've already talked about Android tracking, to be honest. It's not really that important. I already talked about wanting to have a lore video but not being able to manage it in time. We'll probably talk about Oshi marks. I don't know if I want to do an Oshi mark. I don't really hold much value in them. They're cool, but to me, for what I want to do, they might serve more as a gimmick than something important compared to what other streamers probably have more importance to it. I do kind of find it weird when people like... I don't really want to be anyone's Oshi. I find that weird. But yeah, fan tags, like general art, memes, clips. We'll talk about what I want to do in that regard, if I want to do anything like that. Talk about what collabs mean to me. Cover, channel. Oh yeah, talk about the channel content layout again. So like what each channel is for, what the point of my streams are about. Yeah, how you can support my channel, or how you can support me as a person without having to spend a dime on me as a creator, streamer, whatever you want to use. And then probably talk about like maybe emote platforms like better Twitch TV, and I don't know, talk about maybe having like random plugins, like maybe Chat Arena or something. What plugins I should do, if there's any suggestions to make the stream better. Now I'm gonna actually read the chat. Okay, so much ranting. I'm sorry I haven't been able to read the chat because I can't see it when I'm looking at my notes right now. Oh wow, that's a lot of chatting. Well, that's a good amount, I mean. More time you'll know. I'm proud of you too. Appreciate it. Embarrassing, not how it's based. Oh, what? Oh yeah, I'm based for wasting like a 10th of my lifespan watching videos. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hell yeah. You yap a lot. Yeah, I'll yap a lot, which will make me successful. I'm just worried about my yapping being like a lot of repeating myself and stuttering and nonsense and not getting to the point where people are like, okay, old man, simmer down. Oh, Sean the Volcano got timed out. That's funny. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna edit. I'm gonna make it to where all caps isn't a fucking autoban. I might just get rid of the all caps thing entirely because I don't really care if people all caps things. Some people do. I don't. I don't really care if you're yelling at me through a message. So what? Yeah, Shiori's eyes make me feel a certain way when she looks into the camera. What's funny is that her as a VTuber, when I saw her model, I was like, damn. Her Hololive model, I was like, damn. That's perfect for her. It's actually more fitting for her than her old VTuber model because she's always been freaking unhinged crazy. Sean, I want to get frame one banned. Yeah, you got Osu clapped, bro. You got full cleared by the bot, dude. You got speed ran. Who the fuck is Kabata? Obviously, Sean is joking there. He doesn't have dementia. He is one of the homies that I watched Kabata with. Earlier, we had someone else. I forgot the name because I'm bad with names. But we had a couple other people who were also part of that group. My tracking is freaking out. How to do this. Oh god, I can't find it. Oh yeah, Hoshimi. Yeah, I mentioned that emoji is nostalgic. Hoshimi used Kaizok 9 Rip. It's a very interesting emoji name. But that is one of the it's one of the emojis Kabata had when he was known as Kaizoku Kaninu Kaito, whatever. That mouthful. Because he named it to Kaizoku Kaninu, and then he eventually renamed that to Kaito within the same persona. So it was known as both under the same VTuber model. Or something like that. Okay. Time to get back on track. I'll discuss the other stuff in a bit. I want to get everyone banned. Happy birthday. Happy for you. Appreciate it, Valve. Oh, I don't know why I said it that way. Your Oshi mark can just be Kusa. Oh yeah, we'll talk about my model. Discord shout out. There's Waff. Freaking Waff and Blurfy, you guys should have a weeb off to show who's studied Japanese more, because both of you are like actually patient enough to study Japanese, unlike me. Well, Waff, it's unfair. You have the bilingual bonus as is. You speak he speaks Swedish and English, so he would win. Because even though he's learned Japanese probably more recently than you, maybe, I think, he also already knows the language, so he already has, like, his brain is already formed to understand languages better. So I hate you for that. Totally not jealous that I'm single-lingual. Yeah, but all the time, every time when Waff or Blurfy puts out Japanese, I'm just like, God, they're so weebing right now. Obviously, like, there's nothing cringe about wanting to learn the language. It's just funny to me because I'm like, damn, dude, they're going hard on the paint. It's entertainment. But it's like the only way to learn is to use the language. So, yeah. Okay, enough ranting. I'm gonna rant about something else instead. Okay, my design. God, here I can actually use VTube Studio this time. Boom. See all that? Okay. We're not gonna do the feet thing because we're mature adults. Actually, none of us are mature, but we're at least adults. These shoes I actually really like. Eventually, I would like to have them for actual merch someday. If I ever work with a company that does shoes, it's very basic design, but I really like the simplicity. Obviously, I could make the shoes look even cooler, but I just like how they look. These are shoes I would genuinely wear IRL if I could. That's pretty tight. So Blurfy's model is I could put that on screen, but that would take effort, and I'm too lazy, and I don't want to mess anything up. But this is thing I had with Blurfy's model. Obviously, with Blurfy's model, I had boots. With this model, I have just actual shoes, but I kept the whole kind of pants design generally. I don't have the knife here. It used to be a combat knife because that model is more army inspired. This model is more like a skater vibe inspired thing. But I kept the so I watched a PewDiePie video about quirky things Swedish people would do in high school when he was growing up. Apparently, it's a trend to have bands around your cargo pants or whatever pants you're wearing. Usually, cargo pants or something baggy. Generally, they would have like multiple. They would have like several on each leg, but I did only 3 on each leg. I think it's a very unique design. I've never seen this design implemented on a VTuber model, so I wanted something at least unique. I will probably keep this on future VTuber models going forward, maybe, but it's something I wanted to maintain for this model. Over the previous VTuber design. I have like a reference sheet that shows these, but if you look up, it's really hard to look up because it's Swedish and it's old school, so it's 2 layers of difficult to find on Google Images. But yeah, just look up like Swedish high school pants rubber band trend or something like that, and you can find it. If I edit this, I'll probably put an image or not, or I'll just yell at myself for recording a video this long. Thanks, future me. Basically, these are dope. These are so cool. It always stuck out to me as something that's like very unique. I didn't know people did that. Like just put rubber bands on their cargo pants. It's such a quirky thing to do, but goddamn, it's pretty cool. I have a little cargo pants pocket. I have a hole there. It would make more sense with the I guess it makes sense here because that skater vibes, so you'd like fall on your pants if you rip your thing. But the other design was more military inspired, so it also fit there. The belt there is quirky because everything has to be some asymmetrical. This is all designed by me, so it's very basic because I designed it. I didn't get a designer. I don't have the money to get a designer. And I wasn't going to put Chisako through designing when they already draw and rig the model. So just like, I'll design it myself. I wanted something way different design. Like I had a very ambitious design in mind, but then I realized I suck AZZ at like visualizing stuff in my head onto paper. So this design is gonna be way different, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make something based on my other design. So it's at least like if I go back to my other design, it's not gonna be jarring. They're both gonna be like within the same vein. They won't be drastically different, basically. The jacket I thought was cool. This is all based on like, this design's kind of based on like a real Yamada artwork I saw that we will probably also post and edit and post. But yeah, I mean, I chose stuff, but I don't want to screw anything up. Yeah, I like long sleeves. I like the skater vibes of having the long jacket. I thought it was cool. This is Kusa, which is grass, which is W, which is there's lore behind Kusa beyond what my actual lore is. I just thought it's a funny kanji because Kusa is kind of like shit posty. So I was like, you know what? So there's a little element of memory, and so it's not just all white. I put Kusa there. I thought it was cool. Here's a crescent moon and a star with blue and yellow, such as my design. Blue and yellow are my shoes. bluish black here, yellow on this belt. Eyes are yellow, yellow on the bell. The bell is because I think chokers are neat, although I've never really worn a choker IRL, and I don't really care to because I don't really cosplay, so. And I don't really care about my IRL fashion. At least I never really used to. I try more to look presentable nowadays, but yeah, I just thought it fit the design a lot better than me. But no, I thought the bell would be a cool little thing. Obviously, it's not the most like original. A lot of this isn't original. Frankly, the most original part of this design is this by a long shot. Everything else is very I don't know. It's poggers though. The art is awesome. The model is awesome, but my design isn't. My design was nowhere near what I originally had wished it to be, because I'm awful at designing stuff. So eventually, maybe if I re-debut, I'll get a designer. But that's for someone who has more money than me. I'm still very happy with the design. I'm kind of bummed out that I couldn't get it. I couldn't translate the design in my mind to anywhere. But I really like my design as is. It's something to look forward to later on in the future, which is great. There's nothing wrong with this design. But man, I think oh yeah. Okay, so I already went over the overlays being placeholders. They're all very like, it's just the same background plastered everywhere and then cut out. So I'd like to have maybe a proper overlay done. I had commissioned overlay like a few years ago for the other model, but it just doesn't, the design and style doesn't at all match or fit the current model. There's just no, they just didn't fit. And I also only had the overlay for the gaming part, like the media and stuff, and the just chatting area. I didn't have an overlay, or I didn't have like a starting screen, an ending screen, an intermission, offline screen, all that in that package, because I only bought the two screens. So even then, I would have had to still fork over more money if I wanted to use that those old overlays with that model. Uh, Android tracking is gonna get better. Hopefully in June, I might be able to buy an iPhone of sorts in June. So look forward to that. I might save it for later though. I don't know. I would probably just start using it out of nowhere instead of making a re-debut for it, but we'll see. Oh, and I should say on the design, vaguely inspired by. I know a lot of this is inspired by that one artwork by girl, but I really like. There's a GIF where, for a quick bit, she has cat ears, even though she's obviously not a cat girl. But you know, in one of the little chibi memes, she gets cat ears. I have that as my profile picture on Discord. Had it as profile picture on other social medias briefly at different points of time. But it was pretty cool. I originally wanted to do like a black and yellow split. Actually, originally I had black and blue, like a darker blue. But yeah, a lot of changes here. But I think it works really well now because it's just simple but effective. It's not like overcomplicated. If I wanted something to be complicated, I would just have like a designer focused on doing it. Yeah, I briefly mention wanting to have a lore video, something to explain my lore better. I might not. It's also like a lot of time. But if I were to, re-debut, maybe I'd do a lore video and with different overlays and different model or something. But that's whenever the heck that is. It's not anytime soon. I guess I'm gonna read chat and then I'm gonna discuss like the fan tags, Oshimark, and any like emote or plugin related stuff to install. I'm gonna discuss that. Like PC crashed. What did I miss? Just me ranting. I'm kind of sleepy because I ate a lot of pasta. Well, I say a lot. I ate one bowl of pasta, but I'm full and now I'm in a sleep coma. Let's talk about my design basically. I can scare. So yeah, you can probably share a screenshot in the chat of the original model concept or whatever. I'll be honest, your design is hype. I appreciate it. I just have like, I guess, really high standards, or I guess I'm mostly just bitter. I'm bitter to myself. I couldn't actualize the design I had in mind, and I couldn't afford to get someone to actualize it. And I didn't want Chisako to have to do all that because it would just, nah, they don't deserve to be like harassed by me by several thousand corrections. I already sent them enough corrections of like, oh, I want this, I want that, and he's like, bro, I don't get paid enough for this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. He didn't actually say that, but that's kind of the vibe. I was like, damn, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. A Discord shout out. Mark can just be because okay, waffled wit. Japanese makes more sense to my brain than German, which is related to both Swedish and English. So I don't know. Lol. I think it's because we're just surrounded by Japanese so much. But I don't know. I'm too scatterbrained to study like a normal person. You think I actually know much Japanese? I also am like that because of my HD. I don't know how people study things. I learn most things through YouTube videos that teach me everything, and through playing games that I absorb things with osmosis. I learn things through the games, not actively, but on the side. Adult? What do you mean adult? Oh, whether my model is like an adult? My model's supposed to be like my age. The reason why my model is like young looking, I should have explained this earlier when I was talking about design. I didn't really want to have like a super masculine model. That's also why I chose Chisako, because I think they did a good job having a more gender neutral model. This isn't me saying I'm gender neutral or I'm anything at all. This isn't me saying anything about me. I personally like the design more of it being like obviously a guy, but not like macho man. I think a lot of the freaking e-boy like designs and whatnot are fine, but they're not for me. It's not really the energy I want to have. I want to have something more me, something more adolescent looking. Something, you know, not super like this, not like femboy levels, but like definitely not like Giga Chad fucking you could eat dinner off their chest type body. I just, yeah, I don't think that vibe fits me. Also the boots were removed during the model art phase. Okay. It's been a while. I post images in Twitch chat. Yeah, you can't post like straight up images, but you can post links to images. The model on the search kanji. Yeah, I think so. On top was confused me. It all looks great. My piece model crash. Twitch couldn't handle model greatness. Lamau. Model lore. Yeah, Blurfy did the art for my old model that never really got to be into being, because I mentioned it earlier that she has like tinnitus or carpal tunnel or something that just like was like, I see you're an artist. Not anymore. She literally got fucking skill diffed by God. Like what the literally nerfed. Twitch couldn't handle, okay. Nothing wrong with having some femboy action. I don't really want to have like the femboy style. I don't mind femboys. I also don't think that fits me. I don't want anything extremely masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, or masculine and feminine. Like I don't want it to be extremely one side or the other. So I like the kind of like teen look. I also think it fits the skater vibe. Little skater vibe here. But yeah. I could probably click this link and it won't ruin everything. Okay, it won't ruin everything. Yes, that's the model. Okay, so I did chain up the bootsies. There's a version of the model with like a green jacket as well. You can post that one as well. That one's also really cool. Yeah, androgynous, but not like completely androgynous, but like relatively neutral, male leaning neutral. Yeah. Guys, Blurfeet may not be able to do art that much anymore because God hates her, but she can stream. So if you guys do want to watch her, she's on the other website, YouTube. We don't judge because judging is cringe. YouTube and Twitch, we both need them to compete so they can both compete and get better. But yeah, she's on YouTube. I'm not gonna shout her out, but I'm also not gonna shout her out. So, uh, it's fine. I do have a list. I'm gonna go over the rest of the stuff in my stuff. Okay, there isn't much left. I can definitely wrap it up in like 20 minutes. And wrap it up in 20 minutes, and then we can just we can just rant for like 15 more minutes about whatever you guys, just me and chat. But I do want to go through the stuff. Okay. So, Oshi Mark, yay or nay? I know there's only like 4 people watching, so it's not really a great pool size. Well, like, I don't know what an Oshi Mark would be. I might not decide on that today. But I want to put that out there that if we have to, we can. But generally speaking, I don't really feel like an Oshi Mark is needed. Because I don't really want people to Oshi me, because I'm just a dude. Oshi is basically just like someone you simp for. Not really simp for, but like someone you really support. You're ride or die. I don't mind being like a side person that you just watch every now and then. I don't have to be anyone's like commitment person that they watch everything from. I feel like Oshi marks are more for people who I guess want that kind of value. I just don't need to feel that valued to continue making what I'm doing. But I don't know. I know there's very valid reasons to having them, but I'm not gonna be mad if I don't have one. Like, so what? But I think for tags, those are on like the precipice of what I could end up doing. Because that makes things more easy to organize. That has more of a purpose than Oshi Mark, which is just like, I really support X person. And just like, I don't know. I don't really want to be branded onto anyone's account. But that's just me. Yeehaw. And then like fan tags. So I guess for general Ryzawa stuff, just use hashtag Ryzawa. Most people just do hashtag their username or some shortened variation of their username for their general hashtag. For art hashtag, maybe Ryza art or Ryzawa art, but Ryzawa art sounds like Ryzawa art. Memes, maybe Ryzawa epic or Ryza memes, probably just Ryza memes, Ryza art, and clips, Ryza clips. I think that works the best. Not Ryza art, but Ryza art. Ryza art, Ryzawa memes, Ryzawa clips. Simple as that. If it's something like that, it's a lot more easy to remember. Okay, I'll cover the channel layout if I can figure out how to do that without breaking anything. Oh, I should be able to do that pretty easily actually, because I already have the tab open that I'm gonna probably use anyways. Video place where early. Okay, yeah, I probably want to talk about what collaborations mean to me. We'll go more in depth about that. I kind of touched on it before, I think. I covered my channel and content layout, so I can make it more clear as to why I have multiple YouTube channels and why I have a Twitch channel to begin with, and what the Twitch channels and YouTube channels correlate to each other. And then I'll discuss how you can support me without financially giving me money. Okay, I'm gonna reach out again, and then I'm gonna, before I do all that stuff I just talked about, I want to talk about like any plugins. If anyone knows anything about plugins. Boy Grass. Oh god, they're weebing out. Okay. Okay. Use that wrong one. I hate his keyboard. Boy Grass. Should make a post on Twitter later about your hashtag so you remember. Yeah, I was considering doing that. I don't remember what my... Let me check what my Twitter is. What my Twitter pinned tweet. I remember my pinned tweet was referring to my art account. I plan on posting pixel art like this one on my account. So yeah, I could probably replace that with something else. Oh god, there's 8 notifications on Twitter. I'm not going to read that. Okay. So yeah, I'll probably just use those tags. I think it's very synonymous. If we do want to do an Oshi mark, I probably want to figure that out before I post Twitter post of the hashtags. I think that works as well. Boy cries Oshi mark. Okay, I was thinking definitely the cat emoji, not the cat face emoji, the cat emoji where he's sitting there staunchly weird. I like the animal emojis because they just look so freaking like not the face of animal emojis, but the animal emojis because they just look freaking stiff as a board and awkward as hell. It's so funny. Like literally just put like a cat emoji in the chat. You'll just see how like bro looks so out of place. Looks like, why am I here? So I'll probably do like a cat and maybe like some blue something, like a blue moon, like a star or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so there's like there's like 3 different go-to emoji platforms. They've had some drama in the past because why wouldn't things have drama? BTTV, which is the most used emoji thingy. It's for like all the freaking these stuff are basically so you have more emojis that aren't limited to what Twitch approves of, because emojis normally have to go to a Twitch approval process and there's usually a limited amount and not everyone can use them. They have to unlock, people have to unlock them. With BTTV, FFZ and 7TV, you get everyone in the chat gets all of those emojis for free and all that shit. And you can add up to like 200. Well, it depends on the service you're using, but you can add a certain amount of additional emojis to your chat that anyone can use. It'll show up that way in the chat box. Maybe not in like, I don't know, but yeah, essentially that stuff is like an additional quirky thing that people usually have. I know 7TV recently had the I was looking into this like last month. 7TV had like some drama where apparently the previous CEO had to step down because he was grooming, so that's pretty cool. Gotta love that. But then there was drama between like way before that came to light. There's drama between the BTTV and 7TV people because the 7TV people were like the BTT people are trying to monopolize everything, which they were, and BTTV was like, yeah, but you guys are like trying to crypto mine and do all this shit. Like, bro, they're both of them are kind of dumb, but they're also like widely used. And then there's FZ, which Frankfurt or whatever the heck, I forget what it stands for, honestly, which is kind of like a middleman between the two. I don't really know if there's any drama regarding it. There is kind of some, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense regarding that stuff that I don't. It's all like in the past, except the whole grooming thing was like the beginning of this year. But you know, they replaced the CEO with someone else, and she's pretty cool. She just posts memes on the account, so not really controversial now. But I don't know how much the old CEO still has any like influence over 7TV now. 7TV has the most freedom. It's the least monopolizing, at least like fucked up in that regard. It's a lot more free. But at the same time, it's also just not as used often. Some people use, I think, a combination of BTTV, FFZ, 7TV. All this is like emoji crap that I kind of want because it's a very important part of the Twitch culture, and you can use some of these with YouTube as well. But at the same time, it's like it would be nice to have, but I'm not gonna like worry about it. But if anyone has any suggestions, then I'll look more into it. Maybe I'll just install all three of them and hope for the best. Okay. Seems fitting. Yeah, look at that cat. Mainly 7TV myself. Yeah, I've heard of people using BTTV, 7TV, and then Chat Arena is like a chat box thingy. I think also can be used with YouTube. And I know we have a chat box here, but it's like more customizable or dynamic or something. I forget. More stable. I don't remember, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of Twitch stuff. Like this is like the part of the setting up of Twitch stuff that I don't really care about. I really enjoyed setting up Twitch, like setting up graphics and whatnot. But the moment I got to like, oh, which emoji part, I'm like, dude, what the heck? Yeah, it's kind of dumb that Twitch is like that you have to get like an emoji plugin because Twitch has a very limited supply of emojis, and well, not very limited. It's big, but it's like there's a process to getting your stuff approved, and there's a lot of like communal memes that are like used by a lot of people within 7TV, etc. Anyways, okay, there's not much left. um yeah, okay, so what's left is okay, yeah, you cover, I'll do the channel, I'll cover what the differences with the channel is probably last. I probably talk about what collabs mean to me. I talked about it, I definitely did talk about it briefly. I was talking about getting outside my comfort zone, but I want to do a lot of collabs with different people, not to like clout chase or anything. I just think it's like there's a lot of really good people, a lot of really good VTubers out there. Even though there's a bunch of drama and all this stuff, and we lose faith in the VTuber community every other week. And I generally try to stay out of that stuff because it's honestly just a bunch of misinformed people who want to hate people for no reason. Um, but I do want to do a lot of collabs with people just because I think we make really good memories, and I can honestly, like, even if I can't give everyone the amount of attention that they deserve, giving them some attention is better than no attention. If I can just do like a video with if I can like stream with someone and then upload the video on my channel, and that person is on my channel for forever, it's pretty cool. It's like I could be like 80 and watch my video and be like, man, I remember when I was playing with this person. Yeah, so like even if I can't like, even if I'm not really gonna find like a place in a group, and I'm not gonna constantly be doing content with X amount of creator, maybe I do content with this person and everyone in my community likes them. Like, okay, I'll probably stream with them more often, but you know, like people might be like, hey, you should play with this person and that person. Like, I want to play with more people, as many people as I can at first. Maybe not forever, like, but you know, as I get used to things, I like to just do some networking and make memories, get outside my comfort zone, and then eventually maybe I'll like settle into a group, or I'll just end up sticking to myself. But I would like to have like a group that I know we can like do events together with. And yeah, I think it's swag. I think collabs are the best form of content. I know there's like some people who are nicer to watch outside of collabs, but I think most people are so much more fun in collabs. I think collabs are awesome. As someone who's watched a lot of YouTube, I think the moment a YouTuber who doesn't do collabs often does a collab, it's such a breath of fresh air, and it's such an easy way to revitalize your content. I know it's a pain in the ass to schedule, and it's like, oh, we gotta find time for both of us to be able to do the same thing. We also both have the same games or same thing in mind, and it's very exhausting, and it's a lot of commitment. And streamers are also not punctual at all. But it's a very cool way of just like, oh, things are getting a little boring on my end. You know, we've been playing Minecraft for 8 months straight or some shit with like, I don't know, or we've been playing with like this one person for like 10 streams in a row, and it's just like, or we're being solo for so long, and it's just like suddenly, oh, you have another personality to gel with, and like have like a new dynamic. It's very fun. I think collabs are underrated, even though I know so many people really like collabs. Maybe not underrated, but it's just something that people don't appreciate as much as they should, I guess. Oh, I think that's about it. I'm gonna read the chat. Oh, and then cover the. Oh yeah, and I can talk about how you can support me without funding, without donating, without giving me money, without like for free. How you can support me. I'm gonna read the chat. Clubs are fun. Blurfy and Ryzawa has always been the plan. I'm not gonna be like a person who's gonna collab with everybody. I know I said I'm gonna try to collab with as many people as possible. I don't want to collab with people who don't have any drive or interest in the art form, who don't really expect respect or don't appreciate, I should say, the art of collaborations and content much. I'm not gonna get someone on stream if they're gonna be awkward at because I'm already awkward enough. He was like super awkward and super like not invested enough. I want to get people on my streams who genuinely care about this. You don't have to care about it as much as I do, but like, you know, put your heart into it. I know some days we have we have off days and it's hard to gel with someone immediately and whatnot. But there are a lot of really small creators like myself who try to collab with people, and it's like, dude, you haven't even worked on yourself. Like you on yourself aren't figured out. I'm not gonna say you're not entertained, but you haven't figured yourself out. There's a lot of people who haven't figured themselves out, and they try to network a lot, and then they get mad and they're like, dude, these people don't want me because I don't have enough subs for them. I don't have enough followers. I'm not big enough for these people. And it's like, yeah, you're not. There's so many people on Earth. You're not gonna collab with every person who shows up to you. There has to be some level of discrimination. Unfortunately, being like judging a book by its cover is it's a it's a thing that still exists for a reason, because it's a skill to unfortunately be as like efficient as possible. No, I know collabs aren't really like a date. I know I'm making it sound like a big deal. It's all stuff that sounds like a big deal when you talk about it, but when you get and it's just whenever you do a collab with someone, it's just like natural. But to me, it's something I hold a lot of value in. I probably hold more value in it than a date, to be honest. So that's probably why, because I think about it more than I should. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I want to do a collab, and it's like, dude, you've put out like 2 videos and you've streamed maybe like a week, and you don't really know what you're doing. Which is, you know, some people can do that and then they or have themselves figured out. But yeah, it does definitely make it hard. It's just awkward. Like if you like bring someone on who has like 10 active viewers and then they can't carry a stream, it's just like, damn. Like if you, it's just unfortunate. It's a waste of talent. It's a waste of opportunity to, you know, collaborate with someone who's a bigger streamer than you, and ultimately at the end of the day, none of them went to watch your channel because you just weren't figured out yet. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just like kind of a vent. I do feel like people be like, oh, they're judging me and stuff. It's like, yeah, you would do the same. Everyone judges people on their sub count to some very slight degree. At the very least, like it's something that comes into your mind. Even if you don't give it much thought, even if I'm like, you know, I'm like 1 million subs, and this guy who's like 10K subs is like, want to collab? Like, even if I really like their content, inevitably the thought is gonna be like, well, it doesn't have much subs. I'm more cautious about it than if I saw someone who had the same exact everything, same video, same person, same everything, but the number was bigger. Ultimately, the human brain is like bigger number better. But it also generally proves that you have some commitment, some level of commitment, some level of understanding of yourself. It means you're a safer bet that you won't be wasting your opportunity to, or like, you know, bringing the mood down or making things awkward. But yeah, it's a whole like social dance that people get like really mad about, and it's like, oh, they're freaking bigger than me and they don't want to clap because I'm small. It's like, unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of people who want to collab with that person that you don't really know if they're, you know, they got on maybe like 12 freaking collab invitations in the past month. They're going to pick the people who they're more comfortable with at the end of the day, and they're less of a risk. Anyways, enough ranting about that, which I will say a lot. Enough ranting about that. Anyways, I'm starting to annoy myself. But yeah, collabs should be treated... Collabs kind of should be treated like a date. Fuck you, chat. Yeah, they are a date. They're a date, but completely platonic. You don't understand. You would never understand. I'm never collabing with you. Oh, you rapscallion. Very televised date. Yeah, it's just an event. I just see it as an event. You're not gonna go up to like a graduation ceremony, to your friend's graduation ceremony, sit in the bleachers wearing freaking hobo clothes. You're just not gonna do that. You're not gonna show up to work or show up to an interview looking all, yeah, shad. Keep in mind. Keep in mind. We need a couple days. Platonic reality dating show. To be honest, fucking dating nowadays is practically platonic because people don't know a damn thing about each other. People go on dates with each other and it's like, oof, that was rough. Yikes. Yeah. A lot of people have been on that date where it's just like, it feels platonic. It feels like you're just like friends meeting up and there's no romantic interest. Kind of funny. Platonic cat boy dating. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. So briefly. So how you can support me, not just me. I want to say people in general. How you can support content creators in general. Especially me, because I'm the only one you should ever support and I am important and cool. You don't have to give money. You don't have to give donate bits. You don't have to give subs. You don't have to go to their Patreon. Those are all awesome. But at the very least, if you want to give up the lowest effort, lowest cost ways to support someone, watch their YouTube videos. Give their videos a like if they have videos. Comment on their videos. If the algorithm that let's be honest here, YouTube pays more than Twitch. It just does. Everyone thinks Twitch pays insane amount, but only like the 1 in 80 million streamer has enough money to buy a mansion. It's incredibly small compared to, like, I guarantee the top 5,000 YouTubers are wealthier in total combination than the top 1,000 Twitch streamers. Guaranteed it. I'm not even joking. Like, not even remotely. No doubt in my mind that the top 5,000, or I should say top like 2,000. I say top like 1,000 or the top 5,000 Twitch streamers. I meant to get the other way around. Yeah, they're making money. You see Mr. Beast with all that money, like, bro. But people see Twitch streamers and are like, oh, they're so wealthy. It's like, yeah, a lot of them are wealthy, but like, yeah, you can make, like, if you had to choose to support someone on their streams or their videos, I would say support them on their videos, because if their videos blow up because of you supporting them on their videos, they get more people to watch their streams. I think the interactions, I think the support in a video format is more likely to transpire because there's a better search algorithm on YouTube, on videos in general, than there is on streams. Even on YouTube streams, there's just so much you can get out of it. Just the chances of you showing up in someone's algorithm in the recommended is a lot higher because there's actually an algorithm when there's no algorithm period on Twitch, really. There's no algorithm on Twitch. It's just sorting. Stuff is just sorted. It's not fed to you. There's like the only algorithmic stuff they have is like the slight recommendations of like channels below who you're following. That's about it. YouTube is all algorithm based. You can get a lot of momentum out of like 100 diehard fans on YouTube as opposed to Twitch. But if you do want to support someone on Twitch and you don't want to watch the videos, obviously just being there is a lot. There isn't as many free to play. There isn't as many free low energy ways to support someone on Twitch specifically. You can do it on YouTube streams because it does eventually get published as a thing, and you can like that stream. You can't like streams on Twitch. But on Twitch, I believe you can just do Twitch Primes because you don't have to pay for that. You have to pay for Twitch itself to get the Twitch Prime, but most likely by then you're already using Twitch for other things, and everyone uses Twitch anyways. You can also just like you can recommend. You can't really, like, the only time you can really recommend that streamer you want to support to other streamers is if they're vaguely in the right area and this streamer is small enough to where they're like, let me see who to raid, and then you say X person's name and they're like, I'll go check that person out, and then they raid that person. But even then, raids don't typically show long-term growth. Raids usually, let's say you have 1,000 viewer raid, only like 10% of those viewers are going to stick around any reasonable amount of time. Like 90% of them leave and never watch you again after that stream, that raid, or the next stream you do. Like they stop within the first few streams you see, and like maybe like 5% stay for a while, and like 5% are there for good or long term. But yeah, you can still support people if you're like or you could just maybe on like Twitter, on like social media, you can mention said person in a natural way to certain streamers who can also like support that streamer. Or you can talk about it to your friends. You can say, hey man, you should watch the guy's stream, or like just share the streams, share their VODs, share their videos, share their content. Sharing is very free. It's a low guarantee that they'll actually watch it, because a lot of us will get something shared to us and then we'll be like, oh, that's cool, and then we never check it out because we're just kind of scatterbrained, like me. Like there's so many people who sent me stuff and I haven't watched it yet, and like I'm probably never gonna watch it because I'm just bad at that stuff. So it's a lot harder to support someone on Twitch. But on YouTube, it's like, boom, if you just watch my videos and you like it and you comment, even just watching alone, but liking and commenting is bonuses. Especially the longer you watch. If you watch the whole video, it's a lot better. Technically, if you want to metagame it, you could just watch the video on like half speed, quarter speed. Technically counts for more watch time. You're not really supposed to do that, but they haven't patched that out yet, so you can also watch videos in backgrounds. Maybe you can have it muted and not even actually watch it. I'm not saying like to bot views, but like if you're really that diehard about any content creator, you can be cheeky about it, and no one's gonna call mommy on you. You'll be fine. And I think the single best way is to just chat and comment. I think the chatting on streams and commenting on videos, because it obviously helps the algorithm and keeps things lively, but it's also fun, and it gives people who suck at talking something to latch onto to talk about. Ooh, okay. I think I'm gonna read the chat one more time. I think there's only one thing left I want to do, and we're just about past the time I wanted to be at for this. Dude, I'll probably upload like a condensed version of this VOD, maybe 2 different videos of this VOD. One of the slideshow and one of the ranting. So if anyone wants to watch that, that's fine. But damn, I'd be yapping. I'm not letting this become 4 hours, surely. Okay. That's fine. No. You don't have to, but you should. My word's not his. Lol. Unfortunately, I have to skedaddle. Happy birth debut. Ryza, thanks for the term to steal. Shad. Hey, I had birth debut in the title. Shad stole it from me and you stole it from him, SMH. A great rest of your night. Hogwarts. Yeah, I'm gonna end probably pretty soon, so you're not missing out on much. And if I do upload a video of it, you can just watch that. It's me, hopefully more coherent. This is the problem I had with the recording of that video that I uploaded earlier today. It was a 58-minute video. I condensed it down to a 23 minutes video. I went ranting there too. But this is gonna be like a 4-hour stream, and it's gonna be condensed down to like 30 minutes maybe. So I stole a term for the telegram theft. Yeah, like Chad said. Bye-bye. Pog. Okay. Let me see if I can get this to show up. I plan to debut as a... There we go. Okay. Pog. I don't know how this is gonna look. There we go. Trying to find the damn thing. Then my phone is blocking the thingy thing. Okay. So I have 4 channels. Only 2 of them are worth anything or like worth paying attention to. I know the channel with the biggest number might seem like a channel I want you to pay attention to, but it's not. I don't have anything here. Anything here either? Okay, there we go. This is in proper form. Yeah, stay on Twitch. If I was gonna move to YouTube, I probably would have debuted there instead. And I don't want to do I don't want to do multi-streaming. I know it's probably the best move, but it's also a pain in the butt. And I also don't really want to have to read 2 different chats at once, though I could technically. I think Chat Arena is good for that because you can read Twitch and YouTube chat. But yeah, I don't really want to divide things up that much. And I personally prefer YouTube's community. I know, or Twitch's community, but I know YouTube is better for YouTube is good for like event streams and chill streams. So people on YouTube will often have what's it called? People on YouTube, this is very accurate. People on YouTube will all often have the YouTube video in the background. You listen to it a lot more like a podcast. You don't usually get engagement. You can have like 1,000 views, but only like 5 people chatting. That happens very often on YouTube, as opposed to Twitch. There's a lot more. The ratio of chatter to viewer is a lot higher, or chatter to lurker is a lot higher on Twitch. And I want that. I want the community engagement more than I want to be just somebody people throw on in the background, which is fine. Some people are fine with that because they're more chill, but I want to do, like, obviously I said YouTube's better for events and I want to do events, but I also think the community aspect is well worth it. And it's not that Twitch isn't that much is really worse than YouTube for events, but no, YouTube, you either on YouTube, you're either a streamer who streams all the time for people to listen to in the background, or you stream every so often for people to watch events and shit. They do, because you have the VODs and whatnot. It goes into the video thing. You have to edit it, and yeah, that kind of stuff. I will probably be uploading there up here, yeah. But YouTube does its own VODs tab, like here. Anyway, so this is my not main channel. This is the channel I use just to comment on videos, and I just put random freaking. I usually just put random clips of gameplay here, or a meme or 2. Maybe I'll showcase something. There's no value here. I'm very lazy with thumbnails. I don't use this for views or anything. I happen to get very lucky because of the algorithm, but I never really like tried to get anywhere with this content. It's just like, oh, here's the interesting thing I recorded. Let me just post it. As you can see with a lot of these not having thumbnails even at all. And I obviously went back to add thumbnails to a lot of this stuff. Most of this didn't have thumbnails or it looked worse. So I added my own thumbnails. But yeah. This is a channel where I just upload random stuff. So there's literally no point. It says upload whatever doesn't fit on the main channel, like short, unedited clips, memes, and gameplay showcases. Like you can read these as well if you need to know more. This one's my more creative channel. This is basically what I consider the main channel. Kind of like how C-Dog would have a channel like C-Dog V8 here and then Car Dog there for his live gameplay stream stuff. Yeah, this is for like the interviews that I did right here, the recommendations like I did right here, and like commentary like I did right here. Isn't that convenient? Interview, rec, bloggers. Yeah, just like topics I want to talk about. I feel like adds some sort of insight on, just like this stuff, or someone I really want to showcase or highlight, like, oh yeah, this person's cool. Go check them out. Or someone I want to interview. Sometimes I will have videos where I have multiple people in an interview, so maybe I'll have like one topic I want to discuss. I'll have 5 people talk about that topic. You know, like, what's your favorite VTuber? A thing I have to record soon, now that I have my other video out the way. So I have like, I think I have like 7 or 8 people for that video who will just, all we do is talk about their favorite VTuber. And that's it. But this one's just a one-on-one with a single person. Okay, here is my, I just do stream highlights, gameplay, and sometimes clips. I might do like shorts, vertical clips, maybe every now and then. Not super often. I know people farm shorts a lot for views, but that's all they're good for. You can get subs off of shorts, but oftentimes people who subscribe to you for shorts only subscribe to you for shorts, and they don't care about your actual videos. It's better, it's easier to do as a VTuber. It's easier to have people actually watch for the content, luckily, but there are a lot of people who don't do VTuber stuff and they'll just get shorts, views on shorts. Like if it's a science YouTuber, maybe they'll get like a lot of views on their shorts, and no one's gonna actually watch their full videos because they don't have the attention span because they're Zoomer brain rotted. Anyways, yeah. So I'm not really gonna focus on shorts. I know people are like, oh, it's a hack and whatnot, but I also like, it's not really a life hack because they don't usually watch our content. For VTubers, they do, but still, I don't really know if it's worth my time investing heavily into right now anytime soon anyways. So I'll probably just upload, kind of like how I do on here, or just upload randomly whenever I feel like I have something to upload. In short format, ripped straight from my live streams. So yeah, everything I do on this Twitch channel basically is going to show up here. Not everything. Maybe if I do bad streams, I won't upload it here. Yeah, I do maybe like gameplay. And it's mostly, stream heights will mostly be gameplay, but sometimes there will be videos, like if I'm just hanging out with somebody, that might be the video, or if I'm doing like an event, that will be a video. Like if we're doing fucking Minecraft Hunger Games, no, if we're doing like I don't know, like a GeoGuess or something, that'll be a video. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I only really plan to upload like monthly on both of these channels starting out. Upload whenever on this channel, and then upload whenever I have streams. So this is my VODs channel, which I'll upload straight from Twitch to here. I might put thumbnails on it. I might be lazy like these and put like really lazy thumbnails on it, or I might just not bother with the thumbnail. It's here so I can have like an archive. It's pretty obvious. It says VODs here. It's an archive. Don't really pay attention to this account or this account. This is more so if you like want to, maybe you missed a stream and you're dedicated and you want to watch a lot of my streams, or there's like a particular game you want to see me interact with, or you missed a stream you were looking forward to, or you want to reference a point in time that I did something. Like, oh, remember when you jumped off a bridge in GTA? Oh yeah, here's the part, you didn't even clip it. You didn't even make it into your video. Or you want to give more context to something. yeah, that general stuff. But generally, like interviews, recommendations, commentary here, and then like stream highlights, and occasionally a short there, and that's it. That's all you gotta pay attention to. And that, yeah, that's how the streams are. That's what this streaming is. That's what's going on. I think that's about it. Yeah, I guess we can talk about random other stuff if you guys want to talk about stuff, but I will probably stop it here real soon. Maybe I'll get to the 9:30 mark. Yeah, a lot of renting. God damn it, Fawn, why are you always in the way? Okay. I can't see anything. Anyways, yeah, I definitely want to do collabs. I probably won't do them. I might do some immediately. So tomorrow I want to do cluster truck. I want to complete all cluster truck in one stream. So I'll probably start it 3 hours earlier than today. But generally speaking, I don't know if I'm going to stick to the schedule. I would like to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Thursday, Sunday for streams. But I might not be able to stick to that because I also have to edit videos. I have to do my Genshin dailies. I have to watch videos and have my own time to relax. I have games to play. I have friends. Might have a job over the summer. Who knows? There's a lot to do, so I might not be able to keep up a stream schedule. But I at least want to have the VTuber model and the stream and the debut out the way, so whenever I can stream, I can stream. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's the gist. All right. Man, I'm exhausted. Yeah, I kind of wanted to have it more scripted and more like, not scripted, but like punctual. Because I had notes, but I also went and ranted a lot, and now my throat hurts. And I referenced a lot of the same things, talked about the same things multiple times, instead of like going over it all in detail at once and not having to go over it again. But it's fine. It's not really that bad, but yeah. Like Blurfy said, yapping, a lot of yapping is good for a stream. The model's cool. I'm sleepy still because I have a food coma from eating a normal amount of pasta, and somehow dude. Yeah, I've been like trying to lose weight again, and I have like, I don't know if it's because the noodles are wheat noodles instead of the usual noodles, but I get full easier, and I have less of an appetite, which is awesome. But it's like, damn, that shit, that shit got me full quick. Like what? Man, oh yeah, I kind of want to talk about what I want to do. I'm gonna talk about some ideas. So I'm just gonna give people a little bit of an idea. If you stick this long into the stream, yeah, carbs make you eepy. Like sugar can make you eepy. Pasta was good. I'm gonna give you guys some like little bit of tidbit of what I plan to do, some general stuff, because I've had it in my notes and I haven't talked about it really to many people at all. I want to do a GeoGuessr stream because I did mention GeoGuessr earlier. I want to try to do a GeoGuessr stream with a streamer buddy of mine. Don't know if I will be able to do that, but that'd be pretty cool. I never played GeoGuessr, but I watch people play GeoGuessr, so I don't think I'll be terrible at GeoGuessr. And the person I want to do GeoGuessr with is Funny. I love him, dude. Oh my god. I love him. He's so funny. He's a bald streamer. But yeah, I want to do GeoGuessr there. Eventually, I kind of wanted to keep this secret, but it's not really gonna spoil anything if I talk about it to 5 people. There is something I want to do called Minecraft. But I also kind of want to I kind of want to upgrade my computer because Minecraft is really intense on your CPU. So I might upgrade my computer first. We'll see. This will happen anytime in the next few years. It might happen this year, it might happen next year. Who knows when it'll happen? But I want to do a stream, an event where I play Minecraft every day for a month, or at least every time I stream in that month, it'll be Minecraft. I don't think I want to do 30 days of Minecraft. That's probably too much, but I do want to do a lot of Minecraft for a month and just get it out of my system, because I don't really, I find Minecraft really boring playing it a lot, but I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot more because I played it so much over time and I've seen so much content on Minecraft, much like Skyrim. But I have a lot of plans and goals that are going to make it more fun for me, more fun for chat. It's going to make it an actual event, so there's more soul and emotion, and being able to stream it is going to make it more fun for me as well. My cat keeps meowing, I swear to God. No, not Minecraft realm, no multiplayer. There's a YouTuber I watch who I quite like called RT Games. He did a bunch of Minecraft streams and he made a bunch of videos out of them. All single player, him playing Minecraft on his own for the first time in 10 years. Not related to a Minecraft building stream, but like straight up raw Minecraft, unmodded. And damn, it looked so much fun. But he didn't have any like real criteria. All he really wanted to do was to clear out a map, like to do a 3x3 map at max zoom and kind of put it down on a table. I do want to do that, where you map out an entire area, you do a bunch of cartography and exploring. But I have a bunch of other things I want to do. So for this magical Minecraft series, 1 month, maybe not one full month of daily streams, but a month of whenever I stream is Minecraft. I want to build the magical village. It's a Minecraft series where the entire point of the series is to build a village, get villagers to move in eventually, but every single building, I don't want to say too much because people are going to steal the ideas, but every single building is a different, made out of, it's themed about has a different theme to it. Every single building in that village has a theme to it. I do the 3x3 map thingy that RT Game did because I think that's a great way of forcing yourself to explore a certain amount of chunks. So it's going to be 3x3, 9 different map segments all around your base. You're going to explore it and you're going to put down a full map, and that's going to be like in one of the magical Minecraft houses. Maybe like in the main base operations. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of exploring focused in that regard. I have like a combat checklist, so I want to be able to defeat all the key enemies, like the End Dragon, the Wither, etc. I have an exploration checklist. I want to get at least 50% of both of these checklists before that month is over. The exploration checklist is I want to explore all the major structures that spawn in. I want to be able to basically like maybe clear a nether fortress, clear a dungeon, explore a mine shaft, etc. Like, you know, find a mansion or a temple, that kind of stuff. It'd be really cool, but I don't know when I'll be able to do it. And I would prefer to have a computer that can run Minecraft and stream at the same time with maximum range. I know it's like, well, Minecraft isn't that intensive. It's really intensive on your CPU once you have the render distance high. I want to have the 32 gigabyte render distance. Sorry, 32 chunk render distance. So I'm going to need a really good CPU to do that. And I only have a 6-core, 6-thread CPU. So it's like, it's great for gaming. It's not great for gaming and streaming at the same time. Yeah, and my GPU is fine. It could be better. My GPU is great for obviously solo stuff, but it's not great for streaming. So I probably want to replace various assortments of stuff if I want to be able to do this series properly. I also wanted to complete a bunch of achievements, and I want to attain a certain amount of gear, like maybe get a full set of diamond armor or netherite armor, get an elytra, complete as many achievements as I can, all of that as much as I can within a month. That's the big mega idea, but there's a bunch of other small ideas, small little events. I think I have them here. Yeah, so many. Okay, so I have so many games as well I want to play. Like a huge amount of games. I have a game list down below. I don't know if it's still available. I might take it down because I don't think I'm going to use my game list. I think I'm going to be updating my game list because there's so many games and I just can't be bothered to keep track of all that. But yeah, if you look at that game list, if it's still there, I can see it now actually. Nope. Wait. Yeah, my list of games under hardware and software. Do yourself a favor, check that out before it's gone. If it's gone, I might just never touch it and not remove it. I don't know. People expect it to be updated though when it's visible publicly. But yeah, there's a bunch of games there I want to play. It's already kind of out of date. I've bought like maybe 10, 12 games since then that I haven't put on there. But yeah, I want to do like some collabs. I want to play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. That's a fun game to play with someone, so I'm gonna collab hopefully with a certain person I have in mind. Would be cool to do like a, I know it's pretty often done, but like the Infinite Craft. I want to do that with somebody, do like a race, like a bingo sheet race kind of with that game where you connect two words to create a word. That's what Infinite Craft is known for. Yeah, I want to do like maybe do a wheel of punishment, also very commonly done, but I think it'd be fun to do on stream. So I don't want to say everything on here. Like I have a bunch of stuff I don't want to say. Just I want to keep it secret. Maybe do like a higher or lower or the couples dating guessing game where you guess if they're sibling or dating with like a friend. That'd be funny. Maybe I'll do some sort of Batsu game. I guess that's kind of like the wheel. Damn. There's so many. Some of these streams, dude. Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot I don't really want to talk about though. I'll keep it secret. I already revealed my big one. But yeah, it's 9:30. I think I'm gonna end the stream. I'm getting too eepy. What the fuck? What the hell? Yay. I'm gonna sit here for like one more minute. I don't know who to stream or who to raid. I could raid someone. I haven't raided yet though. I might not raid. Oh, Kisaragi. Oh, I know this guy. What the fuck? Oh yeah, appreciate you guys coming by. I should have said that. I should have said thank you guys, but I guess I'm not thankful. SMH. I mean, I don't have to be thankful until it's Thanksgiving Day, so you know. I think I'm going to raid someone. Maybe. Yeah. I think he's one of the people, I believe he's one of the people I knew from before. From the Kaito, Kurbado, Mysterious, Kanan Kuro old days. That some of the people here were part of. Okay, I don't know if this will work. Yes. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna raid. Yeah, Kisa Pagu. Just tell them when we raid them, just tell him He's poggers. That's it. Just say you are poggers. That's it.
Wait.